Good evening and welcome to McStabber Studios, DC by Night. I'm, of course, the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
I'm Rylynn, Shanky's wife.
This is take two.
This is take two. So I'm Rylynn, Shanky's wife, and I play Lily Sanger, Primogen of Clan Toreador in DC.
I'm Lance. I play Steve Perry, no relation, who is the Primogen of the Clan List in DC.
And now has a Twitter account, as you can see on this thing.
Right there.
I'm Jim. I play Quartermain, Sheriff of DC.
For now.
And I'm Locke. I'm Katie. I play Locke, Clan Gangrel, and I am the Hound of DC.
And we have a special guest today, of course. We're our recurring guest players. I'll allow him to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Demetrius. I play Jack Myers, Bruja Barton.
Bruja Bartender.
Love
Great
it.
cover.
Bruja Bartender Extraordinaire.
Yes.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he is. He's actually got fame
Yeah.
as a well-known
Yeah, I
bartender.
got picked for that.
Yep,
Mhm.
people know about him.
Him and Tom Cruise. They're like,
So-
we're this.
So,
We're this.
so Purgatory should get some good visitors there from people wanting to come and see your man. You should get some money, Locke. You should be able to buy resources. Oh my God, resource dots, Locke.
I have a racehorse dot. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
but
You
one
might be able
that's
to buy more.
more. For the first time in her life, Locke will have money.
Money.
You should be able to buy a couch
I-
every day of the
He's
week.
fixing his
Lost
camera.
it
It's
again.
okay. He'll be able
No,
to fix
I'm-
it. He's still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. It's the fact I'm getting updates from Facebook now, and that needs to stop. Because it's literally vibrating my phone and making it fall. Like, I don't
That's beautiful. Beautiful. We tried to use a laptop. It doesn't work with this particular
Yeah.
setup, but we're changing.
All
our
you got to
setup
do
soon.
is delete Facebook.
I can't
You
do
know?
that.
Yep, I can do that. So, let us begin here. Where we left off last time, I'm going to give a quick summary while Jack gets back on his camera there. Where we left off, of course, was the coterie had just was meeting in Lily's club, talking about the Pontifex and all the issues that have been piling up over the past week. And we're actually going to pick up right about at that same point, because it's getting close to morning and it's, everyone's wanting to go and get some rest. Another visitor appears at Lily's club. I know Lily's getting tired of this one, but the headset buzzes again, and it's, ma'am, that man Wayland is back with a friend.
Okay, bring him in. And I get on the horn with the coterie and say, Wayland's
Well,
here.
they hear the headpiece, whoever's
Okay,
wearing
well,
it. So.
he's probably got it. He's probably announcing something.
So you wait a few minutes, and of course, in the conference room, I assume that's where the meeting. It's always in the conference rooms. In comes Wayland, just dressed just the same as you saw him last time.
Because I saw him earlier. In the
But next to him is a man you guys haven't met before, because he was not working the night that the one night y'all went to Purgatory, he wasn't working. But I'll let him give his description of how he looks, because he is with Wayland. Jack?
Yeah, Jack is wearing black sunglasses, black shirt, brown pants, hands in his pockets, not really giving a crap.
He wears
But
his sunglasses at night.
Yeah.
Yep.
For obvious reasons.
And Wayland, he sees the coterie together and he bows. Glad I caught you all together. I was sent here by Prince Stanford. This kindred you see beside me, Jack, has recently brought some interesting news to the prince's attention. Thanks to the keeper, he was brought to the prince tonight to relay the news. It seems Jack has had some connections in Baltimore, and he's gotten word that Cassandra is attending a gala for jazz celebration of 100 years of the culture at the Baltimore Museum of Art tomorrow night. The prince has decided that this coterie will go with Jack and eliminate her. The prince told me to express his decision that he wants to send a clear message. You do not escape his justice by fleeing to another city. That is not a safe harbor in his city. You flee, you will still be hunted, and the blood hunt will be executed.
Okay.
Jack will meet you at dusk tomorrow, shortly after dusk, when the night falls. He will come here to take you, to go with you, of course, to the Museum of Art. And then Wayland looks at Quartermain and Locke and says, the prince also added additional instructions. If it turns out that this is a trap or, in other ways, not a reliable source of intel. You are to eliminate Jack to show that you don't set up our people. If nothing else, eliminate him. Do you understand? And yes, Wayland is relaying this right in front of Jack. The prince
Yeah.
was very specific.
He's getting pissed about this.
No, the prince is
Jack
very...
did not know about this.
Nope.
One
And
bit.
Locke gives him a very pointy grin and says, "Yep, I got it."
Wayland kind of looks at you, Jack, and goes, "That's what the prince wanted."
And I just look at him and say, if your intel's good, you have nothing to worry about.
Oh, my intel is good. I saw her myself.
I'm going to roll for lie detection.
Okay. So that's an opposed... let me switch glasses. Why did I switch glasses? Yeah, I guess Rowland decided we didn't roll dice enough last time. So what she's going to start doing is just start rolling a lot more. That is resolve insight.
Resolve insight?
Yep, I'll go resolve insight, and then Dimitri or Jack can roll composure and subterfuge if you want to resist it. If you don't worry about it.
If you know you're truthful, you don't have to resist.
Yeah, you don't have to roll against her if you don't want to. It's up to you.
I'm taking
But
1 second.
she got 4 successes, so.
I think I'm watching her. Alright.
My glass-
I got 2 out of that one.
3?
2.
2? Okay, so are you lying to her?
No.
There you go.
Okay. And I just look at you and I nod and smile.
And yes, your contact that told you about her brought you over to Gertrude's, which is at the Museum of Art, Baltimore Museum of Art, and you got a sight of her for sure. Because you used to be at Purgatory. So you know what she looks like. You know Cassandra by sight.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also why you went to talk to Tabitha, because you know Tabitha from Purgatory.
So does Steve. Steve knows her by sight very well.
Oh, yes, he does.
He knows her by sight and mental feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I look to Waylon and say thank
Smell,
you. Make
taste.
sure that it's done.
Okay, and then of course Wayland and Jack exit because Wayland's going to give Jack time to get to a safe place nearby, so that you can get your rest for the night. If Cody wants us to talk about anything before we go to bed, if not, then we'll just have the characters go to sleep.
Well, half our crew just got up and left.
No, they had to go check the phone. That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
That's fine.
So
Okay, so
get you $5. It's a spam call.
Oh, we
I'll take that bid.
I would say it's always
Baltimore
spam.
Museum of Art,
Anarch City, yeah.
Anarch territory.
The prince is basically just authorized a raid into Anarch City for somebody hiding from a blood hunt, which
We have to be very subtle in this. Because if we make too much noise, it'll start a war.
Okay, well then we can get her at the gala.
I know Stanford doesn't give a shit, but I give a shit. Okay?
As a person who punches, I give so many shit.
Yeah, good, good. I'm glad we're on the same page,
Obviously.
Locke.
Obviously, we can't get her at the gala. None of us have. We're all fucking known. You know, we're members of court. We're known.
There is a way that I might be able to get us in.
How's that?
Well, as far as Lily's appearance, she still has the black and white hair. I can go back to being a redhead and she won't recognize me from behind.
you just got to get in there. And there's more
And
than
I
one
can
way to
get
get
us
in through
in.
the door.
I can get in. It might
Okay.
help. It might help if we had Ludlow assisting.
Well,
If he's in
this
his right mind.
isn't a kindred event, right? This is a regular ass
It's a
like
regular gala,
Yeah.
which means it's
So it would
definitely something
probably-
she's not just by herself. There's a lot of people there. It's easy to blend in.
Yeah, it's easy to blend in, and yeah, I'd recommend you wear your suit, darling.
Wait, I'm going in the gala?
Oh,
I can
likely.
be-
Why would you be a guard for me?
Shit.
Or if you can find, you would have to find another way in to bring her in.
Or I can sneak you in. But either way, you'll need to kind of make appearances that look, fairly
What
presentable.
exactly would she do about
About what?
her eyes?
I mean, I could wear glasses
She
like,
can wear
you know.
glasses.
like Secret Service kind of
Yeah.
person.
She can wear glasses.
Walk around with her hand
All
like
I
this
need
the
is a
time.
little. All I need is a little foundation, and I'm good.
You're good.
Have you been watching those beauty YouTube channels?
No.
But I mean, what do you
I don't
guys feel
plan on-
about
I
calling
don't-
in Ludlow on this if he's available?
I don't plan on going in.
Okay. Well, we might need you.
We can't kill her in the middle of the gala. Anyway, we have to get her. I mean, I
Unless you can
think
get her alone.
we can't do it in the gala. I'm
I need
thinking,
to get my eyes on security cameras to see where she is in it.
Hey, that sounds like a Steve problem.
Uh-huh. And I expect Steve to go in with me, but
Of
I'm
course.
going to have to find out where she is in there. And
Why?
This doesn't
Why
have any
exactly?
potential to be a masquerade breach whatsoever. So.
yeah, no.
Why exactly do you think we need Ludlow?
Because if things get a little crazy, he can manipulate crowds to where they forget what the hell happened.
I think her reasoning is he's the only one you know that has extensive dominate ability.
Yeah.
If worse comes to worse, just kill everyone.
No, we
Wow.
can't just kill everyone.
Who has Humanity 5?
Wow, lots of innocence. Holy shit! Talk about stains. Dear God. But no matter how many stains you get, you still get to roll one die.
Yeah, there's only one die. Do it. Just have a really bad night.
Then I
You're
guess
gonna
Quartermain,
go
you'll
in.
have to be in there to do that because I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, we can't kill everyone, Quartermain. It's lazy. So,
While
okay.
you're discussing this, Thomas actually, who's been waiting by the come back from the door,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of cocks his head a bit. This is kind of my area or our area, isn't it, ma'am?
What, killing lots of people?
Assaults, planning,
Let's do it.
and he's like,
Oh,
I don't want to insult. Of course, you're kind, but you all aren't known for subtlety. From my experience,
we've
this
only
works
blown
very
up one
simple.
car.
You need somebody to go in, eyeball the place. You need to handle whatever means they're using for security. You need to eliminate that, or at least get handle on it, so that you know what's going on, what's moving. If you can find her alone, you take her alone there. Because it's a public enough place she'd never expect it. But you have to make sure she's alone. I understand your kind's rules. And then the extraction. The extraction will, of course, be the hardest part. You don't go in with guns. This is you don't use guns. The hardest part, well, I've seen how you operate. Getting in is easy. And Quartermain, sir, while you don't appear directly identifiable on camera, you can be told, you can tell you're moving through the area. So that's why you need to secure the cameras right off.
Yep.
But once those cameras are secured, you have free run of the place if the cameras or somebody's in the control room for the cameras, making sure that whatever's seen isn't seen.
You
Is
got
it possible that you guys can insert yourselves into the security at the location?
Not with one night notice. I can get in.
I can get in.
I've got the badge. I can get in. But more than one of us using, different badges, that might be a little much.
Yeah.
You're best off not involving us in it, though, because those badges would raise a concern being used at a place like that. They've already got their own private security. If it's a gala, I may have worked those kind of events at one point. The people running it aren't at the doors. The hard part's just getting through their guest list. And to be frank, your kind don't really care about guest lists. You tell people you're on it and they think you're on it. That's how that works. The hardest part will be the extraction. You can't leave the vehicle out front running because, of course, that's obvious. And if it comes down to a heated escape, you can't exactly wait for the car to come.
Well,
But if this
how about this?
Jack
Hey,
man knows the city, he may know how to get you out of
He
there.
can get us out.
He's a lot more familiar, might know a way to get you extracted after the fact, if it comes to it. Yes, Miss Locke.
all right. Can we get anything like, sewer access, like where we could get, sewer access tunnels around that area, public works kind of shit, because we can always go up.
In one night?
We gotta run hot. There's only so many people. Like, the kind aren't gonna go into the fucking sewers half the time. They're gonna stand around scratching their balls and calling for, like, backup.
The big thing is the timing. If you have to do it tomorrow night, there's not enough time for that.
Well, what are the chances of us being able to snatch her either just before or just
Snatch her? You won't snatch anyone out of an event like that. You can't
before
extract
or
her.
after?
So before or after, I'm saying we either. I'm thinking doing it at the event is a bad idea. Like, so bad.
It's
So
logistical
bad.
problem in your case. You'd have to get there before she arrived, and you can't guarantee you get there before she arrived. You
Or
can't
after.
guarantee she will leave there. She may have that as her hideout. Your kind tend to hide in places like that frequently have
Kind will
mortals.
leave eventually. The kind ain't partying until 5 a.m. It's a gala. I mean, it's got to end at some point.
If she leaves.
She may not leave.
My recommendation would be to go right in the front door. Do what they don't expect. You come in, keep it simple. Come in straight. Go straight for the security. Put Mr. Perry, of course, into the security room to run the cameras and to monitor and maintain the cameras. At that point, if he's in the security room, fire exits, he can open those up to let anyone in.
Anyone in
Any
without
one of you
alerting
in.
anyone.
You guys can go right to a fire exit. He can shut the alarm off, and y'all can come straight in the building through any of the emergency exits without anyone's knowledge. And then it's finding her. And if she's like the rest of you, she's got guards. Find the guards, you find her.
All right. What we need
And if
is
it's that crazy bitch I met before,
Yes.
I doubt she's going to be in the middle of a whole bunch of kinds, as you call them. She's going to have a plaything somewhere and be toying with him.
Okay.
all right. So, going in. I don't think I should be your guard, Lily.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to
I'm
be.
too obvious. I think I need to come in like once
We can get you
Perry
in. We can
opens
sneak you in.
fire exits.
Yeah.
Hold on. Once we get fire exits and shit open, I come in that way. I do not even look when cleaned up like someone who should be there.
Okay.
I
Got you.
know this.
Got you.
But it'll also give me more freedom to move around and get to the point where wherever she is toying with someone.
Mhm.
Then also let Quartermain come in because he can't come in the front door.
Mhm.
Oh, why not?
You're just too fucking pretty, man.
Once the
You want to be my date, darling?
Once the cameras are done, he can obfuscate through a front door. I mean, this isn't Thomas, this is me speaking. Once the cameras are taken care of, he's a nos. He can obfuscate right through the front door.
Mhm.
The cameras are the only thing that bugs him because no kind is going to see through obfuscate. Not at his level of obfuscate, they won't.
Although
Not many kindred either.
Mouse can come with
Mouse
being
can
able
see. Mouse can see a lot.
Yeah, so they're like, like we're going up against a high, a powerful Malk, and even if we have a powerful Nos, it's basically, WWE. Somebody's gonna lose in this
The
thing.
one advantage to Ludlow, of course, is the fact that she's never met him.
Yeah. She
He
doesn't
is
know
a
him.
complete unknown to her. That is an advantage of Ludlow. He is
I
a
could
complete
go
unknown.
in with Steve and Ludlow.
Jack, what can you do?
Well, Jack's gone.
Jack's gone. He was taken with Wayland.
Oh, fine.
I'll find out from him tomorrow. But if we're gonna get Ludlow, I need to make that call like now before dawn.
We could have locked him in a fun room here.
He's a Bruja. He can punch things.
I want to be mad at you and say you're wrong, but you're not. So,
And I look at Quarterman, I'm like, how do you know he's a Bruja?
Yeah, you weren't told that. But,
Oh.
I mean, kind of clan jean jacket, kind of. Blue jeans,
looks
glasses.
like a gangrel who took a shower. So he's
Oh God!
Call it insight.
Okay, sure.
He saw the symbol.
Okay.
Since this is a prince-sanctioned event, is Victoria going to be giving us an assist?
All right.
Would you want Victoria in an anarch
No.
city?
Let's not even.
No.
Let's not
No.
even.
She doesn't do subtle.
I mean, based on what they've told me, based on what Lux told me, she's got a bumpkin purse now. That is she's not for that place. Let's not go there.
She is great as a plan. Maybe C.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of where you go.
If
when
all
you
else
run out
fails,
of-
sure, then we get her involved.
Yeah. When you'd rather do cleanup
Yeah.
than do it yourself,
Yeah.
then you call Victoria.
Yeah.
So All right, so you get, so you can just basically walk up to them and say, I'm on the
guest list, and I'll make them, believe it, no problem.
Yeah. How are we going to get Steve Perry into the security room?
I can work that too.
Okay, cool. So Steve,
last time I was there, I think I dropped a bracelet somewhere. Where's your lost and found?
There you go.
Hey.
So you keep going to the front. We'll stay on radio.
All right.
Around and just wait for you to open up something. Improvise.
We'll work it. We'll work it.
And there's only so much we can know.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yes.
I'm gonna text Glenn.
Okay.
Sewer maps, Baltimore.
Delivery failed.
Really?
No, that's the message. You didn't. It said delivery failed. It couldn't send the text to that number.
Is it the phone we had before? Did we get them? We should have gotten the new number for him.
Yep.
I'll try George.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to my office and make a call to Goodfellow to see if we can arrange for Sam to meet us tomorrow. Because I think I really think that my part would go better with Sam.
George, text back. I can get him in a couple days. Yeah.
Never mind.
You gonna call?
I'm gonna call.
Goodfellow?
Might be useful to have in the future, because who knows? Maybe we'll have to start a war.
And I say I can definitely print off maps of the museum itself. They're gonna have those on their website.
Yeah.
Okay, you call Goodfellow. Goodfellow speaking. May I help you?
Yes, Goodfellow. It's Lily. How are you?
Lily. I'm doing well, of course.
Good.
How can I help you this evening?
I'm wondering if you believe Sam might be available to provide some assistance to me tomorrow?
He may. He is distracted right now. You may have to encourage him to focus a bit before he can go with you.
Oh, I think that can be arranged. Could you send him by the club or bring him by the club?
Oh, I'd have to drop him off. He's definitely not where we'd want to just let him
Bring him by. I think I can give him some words of encouragement and he'll snap to it.
Good. Could use a break.
Okay, good. I'll take him off your hands for an evening or two.
Great, because Dr. Philo and I have things to do.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll see you tomorrow?
Just after dark. Yes.
Just after dark? Perfect. Thank you.
Good evening.
You
Have
too.
a good night.
Thank you.
And he comes off the phone.
Okay, and then basically while I'm in my office there, I'm printing off maps of of the museum.
So you have a workable plan. So I guess at this point, everyone, Quartermain and Locke, I assume you're returning to Quartermain's Haven just to...
Yeah. God damn it. I had stuff to do and I don't have my puppy yet. And...
Definitely, you don't need the puppy in a gala. That might be a
No.
problem.
No, but still, I have stuff to do. God damn it.
Wow.
Your job sucks.
You know what? Stanford is getting a little overboard, I think.
I mean, if we knew where she was, we could totally hit her later. It's like, if she's in Baltimore, like...
Yeah, he has a reputation for being overboard. That's what got him removed from Providence. Was he got a little bit excessive.
I don't disagree.
Let's hope that oh, for God's sakes, I've already forgotten his name.
Jack?
No.
Steve.
No. The former prince.
Oh, Vitel.
God.
Oh, Vitel doesn't show up.
Oh, God. Oh my God. No, he would have had to have gone further.
Well, that'd be something you would want to talk to. If Jack's been in Baltimore, he might have rumors that could tell you about that kind of stuff when he comes the next day. So, day comes.
Before.
You shave your head?
I know. I want to talk.
We've got an hour or so drive to Baltimore, so
You're gonna have to do it. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so
I was going to suggest you if you didn't get plans for the sewer, I could look online to see if I could find them.
May not have time. Because it's dawn is encroaching. Question for you, Steve. We are going up against someone you know has the ability and capability of entrancing you.
Mm-hmm.
If I did it to you first, she would have to try to overpower me instead of you.
You think that's a good possibility?
Oh, come on. She sees
I'm
you. She's
laughing.
gonna try. Yeah, she's gonna try to turn us against each other.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
Would
laughing
you-
Because it's a hilarious.
would you want me to entrance you first so she can't get her hands on you?
That's a good plan.
Okay. I will do that then. And do know that it's not to be used and abused, but it's just to
Understood.
protect you. Okay.
I have to admit, that's the first time I've ever heard of a kindred just voluntarily saying, "Yeah, just fucking entrance me. I'm cool with it."
Yeah.
Well, but Steve considers the alternative,
Right. The alternative
Is
is.
Cassandra getting
gets
hold
her-
of you again?
and that's
which
not happening.
Mhm.
the last thing you want to do is have her turning you against your own
Right.
coterie. Because
Right.
as good as you as are in a fight,
'Cause-
we do know that if Locke comes on you, I mean, Locke is
You know, somebody
a
can get
murder
hurt.
machine.
And I
She's-
literally just
that's what
touched
she's good at.
Steve on the arm, and I'm like, because she might be good, but I'm great. So let's have her try to come against me.
Let's do that.
So, a day comes, and as always through the
I
daytime,
shave my head before bed.
okay, and as day comes, of course, the kindred rest in a sleepless sleep,
Mm-hmm.
except for Steve. Except for Steve.
I need a beauty sleep.
A woman, long black hair. You see her face in your dream. She speaks to you. Where you're going, I cannot help you. You'll be out of my reach. Do not fail to return. You are mine, and he will not have you. And then that's all you remember from the trade. And with the setting of the sun, of course, the kindred start to wake and they start to rise. Everyone, do you roll for your hunger check for waking up, please? Lily is going in.
So angry.
What are you at? 3?
3.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome for Lily. She might want to eat something before she goes because
Everywhere's been closed.
it's all right.
I failed.
Well, what are you at? 2?
2.
Well, how's everybody else on their hunger checks? Good, good. How about
I'm good.
Jack's good.
I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Personally, I'm
as you
good.
start stirring, shortly after the sun falls, the first one to come is Goodfellow comes escorting. Man, you guys have seen a couple times now, looking disheveled. His
Looking disheveled.
yes, his of course older graying hair, glasses, bit of a scrub on his face there. He's got a button-up shirt, but looks like some of the buttons are missed. The tie is askew, and he's. This can't be real. I'm not here. But wait a minute. This isn't. No, can't be real. No, it's not here. I'm not here.
Okay.
And of course, Goodfellow.
I actually meet them at the door.
Of course,
Yeah.
you were
And,
told immediately when they pulled up.
yeah, and Lily now has dark red hair. And she meets them
You're
at the
real, but you can't be real because your hair's shrunk. That's not real. It's not real.
I grab his hand and I say, Sam, it's me.
No. Well, it is. She's real. She's here. It can't be. It's not. Doesn't make sense.
I had work done in LA. That's why my hair looked like it did. This is me as I am.
How do I know she's real? I feel I'm here. This is me. How do I don't know.
I touch his scar.
Ooh, you had to go for that, didn't you? Immediately, his eyes. Real. That's real.
That's real. I'm real.
Lupine. Oh, beach.
Yeah. Okay, come on inside, guys. And I tell
Goodfellow says,
Goodfellow,
Goodfellow,
you
it's
have a
in your
good
hands,
night.
ma'am.
I got him.
And he departs. And yes, Sam is, of course, you've seen this before. He is not as hungry as he should be.
Mm-hmm.
So he is definitely deep into his clan's curse. He's not very coherent. He's not really paying attention to what's going on. He's just kind of rocking and constantly touching and feeling his own skin to see if he's as is testing himself and what he can feel.
As I'm walking up the stairs with him, I basically tell him, Sam, I'm going to need you to become more alert if you can.
No. That's not, no, can't.
Okay, well, where we're going tonight, it's going to be required. So you're going to have to look alive.
Let's see how brave Lily actually is. You know one way to increase his hunger pretty quickly.
Eat him?
You'd have to drink from it.
Okay, I will. I take his wrist and take
She's
a
already
bite.
got a 1-point bond towards Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to start a conflicting bond game.
Mm-hmm. I'll do it. So I'll do it. I'll take one sip off of him. Basically, one hunger.
Failed the roll. So as you're drinking, his eyes, you can just see
Sorry about that, guys.
the unfocused seems to fade away, and he kind of straightens, and then suddenly he's pushing Lily off him.
Oh yeah, I let go. I only wanted one. There you are.
I'd say thank you, but damn it, why can't he at least
Straighten you up.
keep me straight? And he's straightening up his tie again and his thing. And of course, my medical bag. Good evening, Lily. I understand what you did, but please don't drink me again.
Honey, you weren't coming to.
What is this about where we're going?
Wait, let's go up to the conference room and talk.
Okay. And as you go up to the conference room, of course, then you hear on the headpiece, ma'am, the guy that was here with Wayland last night is at the door.
Okay, he can come on up too.
Okay, and Jack, you're led into the Succubus Club, once again by the same guard that let you up before. Thomas is what's on his name tag, of course. And he takes you up to the conference room where there's a man you haven't met before. He's in a button-up shirt with a tie. It's straightened now. And he's wearing, khakis. And seems rather respectable looking at the time. He's just kind of trying to smooth his scrub down a little bit and smoothing his hair back, trying to, straighten himself out a little. And he looks at you and then just goes right back to, and where are we going tonight?
We are going to the Baltimore Museum of Art.
Why would that be?
Oh, there's a blood hunt on Cassandra, and she's there.
That asshole sire of mine wanted to be the one to kill her.
Yeah, well,
Oh, this
he's
will
not
be
gonna,
fun.
He's not going to get what he wants.
Oh, no, I'm down. I'm always down for anything that pisses in that man's Wheaties. He staked me
I knew
with
you
a
would
crossbow
be.
bolt.
I know. I was there when we collected you. I know. So yes, we can definitely piss in his Wheaties tonight.
And my role in all of this is?
Kind of an assist. I can get us in, generally work my way through security to get Steve in place to watch cameras, but just in case some people need to forget things or be misdirected, I might need an assist.
That'll work, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I do owe you. You did rescue me from that asshole that had bolted me. And you are, good sir. And he's looking at you, Jack.
Yeah, I'm Jack. I used to live in D.C. I'm with the left D.C. because of a certain kindred I think you all probably know. But I will talk about that more in the conference room.
I'm, of course, Dr. Samuel Ludlow, famed clinical psychiatrist and criminal pathologist, of course.
Of course.
I know these people, of course, through other associations in LA and places like that. Of course, I know Mr. Perry quite well.
Doctor?
And I look at you as you walk in and I say, have you seen Quartermain or Locke yet?
No, not yet.
And you're funny you ask, because that's about the time.
Deputy's home.
Yeah, that's about the time
And
Daddy's.
still no response.
Still no response.
Locke puts on hers. Hi,
Oh,
Locke.
hey, Locke.
Well, we're in the conference room. We don't hear them.
Yeah, because once in there's nothing. But
Well, my guards were already told at the start of the night that when they show up, have them come to
Yep.
the conference room.
and that's what Thomas comes over. Miss Locke, Mr. Quartermain, they're in the conference room with Ludlow and that Jack.
Okay, yay, it's a party. Cool,
Yeah.
let's do this. And Locke goes up. And Locke, when she
You
got
really
up.
should try to contain your enthusiasm.
Oh, no, Locke's
Just
got
a
lots of
little.
enthusiasm.
No, that's something different. Locke, this morning when she got up, basically clipped her hair short. So it clipped off all of her little bad mohawk.
You mean before you went to bed?
No, when she
No,
woke
when she
up.
woke up, so that it
Oh,
doesn't
after you
regrow,
woke
so
up.
it's gone.
So it doesn't
Oh.
regrow until she goes to sleep.
So it
That's
doesn't
right.
remember.
So you have short hair.
And then
She
you
has
guys have
black-
noticed that yes, Lily now has red hair. Where as long as you've known her, it's been black with a red stripe
No,
or a
white
white
stripe.
stripe down.
Locke is not dressed in her flannels, and she's not dressed like this.
Are you wearing a Guido suit?
She is not wearing a Guido suit. She is actually wearing just a pair of. She's wearing a pair of just black sweatpants, black t-shirt. Dark t-shirt.
Oh, she's
dark.
in super spy mode.
She is. She's in.
I like it.
But I'm hanging out on a roof. She planned.
Yeah.
She planned ahead of time.
Yeah, this is
And
good.
it
Okay.
caused blood.
Okay.
What?
Look at me.
What?
Try this.
And you,
And then he obfuscates
Obfuscate.
right in front of you.
no,
'Cause he's
maybe
got-
next.
Yep.
I'll figure that out. But
He just needs to bite. She just needs to bite a little
What?
Quartermain.
It's not that hard, really.
you know what? You try talking to animals. I bet you would have a hard time talking to animals. I'm just saying. She does a quick stop in the kitchen to shove some food in her
Okay,
backpack.
Hound.
She puts food in the backpack.
That's
She's
fine. My
swiping.
club hasn't
Yeah,
opened yet, so
that's
we haven't
funny.
replenished the stock.
Well,
yet.
we have an estate. This is it's not like good food. It's like the crap that's gonna expire.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Rat food.
We have an arrangement.
Yeah, we
So-
do. We have an arrangement.
We're up
When
to the
you-
con-
When you come in the conference room, of course, Ludlow sees, and of course, he extends a hand to Quartermain and Locke to shake hands. Good to see you again.
What's up,
And
Hound?
this is the Sam you've seen. This is the Sam. You can see by his eyes he's not quite bankrupt ethically yet.
Good. Feeling real, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Everything is
Took care of that.
as normal as possible. Somebody took a sip out of me to make me hungrier and to get my wits about me.
Sorry, darling. It was all I could think of.
If I'm going to have somebody trying to neck with me, I prefer to be coherent when they do it.
Mm,
How about me on a Saturday night?
Hey, we have. And Locke is visibly uncomfortable. Hey, hair looks great. Love a color.
Thank you. It was literally all I could think to do, Locke. I swear to God.
Jeez. Everybody's getting their hair changed. Maybe I should go to the salon and get my bush frosted.
So are you going to bring up
And
when they
Lily
mention
just ignores
salon?
that.
Wait a
Not
minute. When they mention salon, you're not going to say anything about it,
Not
okay?
yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that.
Because he knows something about a salon that the rest of y'all don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are.
We are ready. I believe I've got maps printed of the layout of the museum. It is 3 stories. The main entrance is actually on the 2nd story of it. There is a lower entrance for school groups and things like that, and also a handicap access. There is the upper floor, which is more exhibits and stuff. And actually, the upper floor mostly has by appointment rooms. So if we can possibly get Cassandra in one of those rooms, if she isn't already in them, that's a perfect place to do it because nobody else is going to be in there.
Okay.
Quartermain, we could roll you in a wheelchair. I mean, you do look like, there's something wrong with you.
Fine.
The
gonna.
foundation does
I
not
was not going to say it, but I was thinking it.
If you
I
think
had-
you can pull it off, sure.
If I had my medical.
I need someone to be with me on the outside. I
Yeah.
need a
I'll stick with
large
it.
individual.
I'll stick with her.
So do you fill Jack in on your general plan?
Yes.
But you can do that in the car
We can
ride.
do that in the car. We need to
doing
get
that,
going.
yeah.
Yeah. We need to get going.
So Jack, you're taken down to the parking garage of Succubus Club, and when you go into the parking garage, there's 4 Cadillac Escalades.
3.
3? No, you've got a 4th.
I did.
Yes, you picked up a 4th. We talked about it last one. There was a
Okay.
4th one added to the collection because of all the extra people that seem to be doing. But they're actually extended edition. These are custom Escalades that have just another row of seats in them, just because. She's been picking them up from places that supply them to limo rental places. And there's 4 of them in there, and that's where everyone's expected. I assume Scott is driving, or yeah, Scott's your driver.
Scott's gonna drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's my most trustworthy driver.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what I call a class X.
Thank
That's what-
you. Thank you.
The windows are as black tinted as you can
They are
possibly
black
get
as
them and
night.
still see.
Well, that beats my Mustang any day of the week.
I do like to ride in comfort. So
I mean, there's nothing wrong with comfort. Yeah.
You all load up into the
SUV.
vehicle, into the Escalade, and of course, Scott's already got the location ready, so he drives in and he puts up the privacy divider. So you guys are alone in the back seat with the privacy divider up, and you can have your talk
Okay.
about your plan. Ludlow is just kind of patiently watching. It's almost like he's making mental notes about what everyone is doing, which fits with something you were told about him.
So Lily explains her role. She is going to enter with Steve and Ludlow as her escorts. And you guys are going to be coming in later once
Jack,
we secure
you know
cameras.
you can also get in through Gertrude's
Yeah. So if you have an alternative.
because you have friends that work
Yeah,
there and you
I
work there
have
from
friends
time
who
to
work
time.
there.
Oh, good.
I work there from time to time. I'm friends with Gertrude, so she can get me in as a bartender
Okay, fantastic.
easily.
That gets you
Fantastic.
in
So if you
through
can
the
get in
food
that way,
entrance.
that's perfect.
that's
We're going to
perfect.
go in through the
Just
front
call her.
door, and the other 2 are going to be
fine.
waiting for the fire exits to be turned off to come in.
Um,
Now, our question is extraction. Once we are done, can you get us out?
I can get y'all out. I just get a hold of Gertrude.
Okay.
You know Baltimore anyway, so if it comes down to it and you have to make a run for it, you know
Yeah.
what streets to take and what streets to lose somebody on.
That's the thing, is because
I
it's
can get
unfamiliar
y'all out.
territory. Okay.
I can get y'all out, no problem. But there is one issue that I need to bring up.
Okay.
Do you guys know a candidate named Vitel by any chance?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah,
knew
we
it.
were gonna ask about that.
Yeah, I was waiting for everybody to get together before I bring that up. So, there are rumors. I have a new badass who's gobbling up domain. I'm gonna get Brand submit or be final death. I don't have any confirmation, but I don't think it's him.
Oh shit! He's taking out barons.
He's forcing everybody to submit or be final death.
Oh shit!
These are rumors. I don't know this for a fact. But
Oh no!
these
Well,
are
all
these are
rumors have a kernel of truth. Oh my god. Okay, so we have to be really subtle and get the fuck out of Dodge as soon as this is over.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and I'll make sure you guys get out and
Okay.
y'all get back to DC.
Oh god.
Because yeah, the fact that he's even in Baltimore, maybe come back to DC. He's the only reason why I came back to DC. Plus the information on her. Is the
Got
second
you.
reason I came
Well,
back.
that's your ticket in. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, I got it.
That'll buy you a return for sure.
Yeah, it will. Holy shit. Okay.
Yay!
Stakes are a little
And
higher
when you
now.
mentioned Vitel, Ludlow's eyes kind of narrow a bit. He is narcissistic, for sure, but he is also extremely intelligent. You can see it's not an intelligence of just book smarts. It is an intelligence based in experience. He is very dangerous. My dossiers on him frightens me, even when I'm hungrier.
Oh, I know. He's been wiping out Masquerade in DC in 2018. Like soon after my
It's funny when
former boss
when you mention
Warren
that.
left.
It's funny you mentioned that, but nobody here is going to admit to that one.
What did he say?
He said that Vitel would have been wiping out his clan in DC in 2018.
Well, it's still 2018, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And
This is after my former
well, that was
boss.
right before you left because it was right
Yeah,
after
it
the
was months.
coterie
It was a
showed
few
up.
months back.
Yeah, it was right after the coterie showed up. Though you don't know that they were the ones who did it. Though they did wipe out Velvet and caused
Sheridan
Emilio to get murdered.
beheaded.
But you don't know it was them because you weren't part of that war.
No.
You stayed out of Velvet's little games because you were actually
That-
Bjorn's man, not Velvet's.
Exactly.
That was not our fault. They brought all this shit on themselves.
Because yeah, you were Bjorn's man, not Velvet and Emilio's. You were Bjorn's.
Yeah, and when Bjorn
didn't
left,
blame
when
Bjorn.
everything went, when Bjorn left, everything went sideways. The second it hit him, he left. That's when things went sideways. Bang.
That's exactly what happened.
That's
Quartermain,
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
should we try to get that nugget to Karina?
About
About Vitel being in Baltimore?
didn't
It's a rumor.
Oh, did you share that
did you
with
tell the
Ken?
prince, Jack?
No, Jack did not because it didn't come up.
He didn't ask. You guys know.
You got to be careful with what the prince was saying flat out about if Jack's setting into an ambush, murder him. The last thing I think Jack would have wanted to do was mention to the prince Vitel's there because that makes a paranoid Nosferatu more paranoid.
Exactly.
I don't think.
Well,
that,
we're on our way. I'm not going to send the text if you say no. But it might be worth going to the somewhat more sensible Seneschal, and just maybe dropping that little piece of information in her ear.
Yeah, I'm saying go for it. Because a paranoid prince is what we don't need right now.
Yeah,
But you could have shown with that kind of info.
Yeah.
Fine.
Don't do it for free.
I'll text
this
her.
is our job, Lily.
And while they're doing that, I'm calling Gertrude, see if she can get me in.
oh,
Bill?
Gertrude says you can come in. I mean, she'll let you come in and just walk right in. You know, slip you in since you're there quite a bit. You've been a lot of help as the bartender. She'll let you just slip right through the other entrance into the gala itself. If you want to look around, because, you know, it's a jazz gala, and if you like jazz, she'll let you go in and listen and poke around and see some of the stuff, because, I mean, 100 years of jazz, that covers all the greats. I mean, all the greats.
And I'm telling her
Okay,
things. I'm on my way, and I'll be there soon.
Okay. Quartermain, how do we word this text?
Oh, I'm gonna word it. Rumor has it, V taking out bees in Baltimore. That's what I'm gonna send her.
Karina replies with,
Speaking of Baltimore,
Raymond? Question mark?
well,
Wait a minute,
speaking of Baltimore,
did I use the wrong initial?
No?
She asked if you were
Okay.
talking about the Roman.
Yeah, Roman? Question mark?
Yep.
Great. Sad face.
dang it.
Wish
Yeah, that
us
was
luck.
the nickname she used for him, was the Roman a lot.
I say wish us luck.
You'll need it.
On the way, I text Tabitha.
Okay.
Hey, you up?
Yup. You meet Jack?
You know Jack?
Yeah. I was supposed to meet him. Art found out, went instead, took him to the boss. Something's not right
yeah.
with Art.
Yeah, it's a long yeah.
Yes, Jack,
Ken-
when you saw Art, Art's not the Art you remembered, because you've seen Art in Purgatory, and he's not quite the
Exactly.
same hippie he was. He's kind of unsettling.
And that made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack is, and what I'm gonna say to Tabitha is, Jack's with me. Can we chat when I get back?
Sure.
If you get
No.
back.
No, when?
No, we're not gonna put if in there because she'll do something stupid. Bless her.
Yeah. It's not like there's no history of that.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
Locke will say, Jack's cool, right?
Yeah, great bartender, knows the crowd. He'd be good to have back at the bar.
Purgatory?
Yep,
And then
she
Locke
was,
goes,
he was one of Bjorn's.
she's like, you worked at Purgatory?
Yeah, Bjorn was my boss.
Huh. So about that, yeah, I actually own Purgatory now.
Cool, so that makes you my boss now?
There's another text that comes back and it says, he's a Viking. Which, as you remember, that was Bjorn's biker gang name back in the day, was the Vikings.
Yeah,
He's
so
a
at this
Viking.
point, I'm rolling up my shirt, in case you didn't notice, and there's a Viking tattoo right on my left arm.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I look at him like, that's good quality work.
You want to see mine? And
Locke,
I reach for my pants.
hey. Locke looks at Quartermain. Is this how interviews work?
And I look at Quartermain and say, nobody wants to see that.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to. Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, if you want, I needed a bartender. I need to open. I got the light. That shit. It's working. I have things, form stuff happening, but soon.
And since he used to work as one of the bartenders, Jack would actually still know the liquor suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
He would know the people to get, the stuff you need to run the bar because he was there doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you need help, let me know, and I got you.
Yes.
I got you, boss. Don't worry, I got you.
You are not getting at the moment the feeling of a savvy businesswoman sitting in front of you.
She doesn't negotiate very well.
No.
I mean, we don't need to negotiate. You need the help, I got you.
Yeah, you need the help, and he needs to get the fuck out of Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Cool.
Hey, welcome home.
And since
We are
he was
heading-
Bjorn's, he knows the area.
It's good to be home.
He knows who Bjorn talked to on the police force.
Yeah.
He knows who Bjorn,
His contacts.
his
and stuff.
contacts. He may not have the same pull as Bjorn did, but he knows them,
Mhm.
which means
I
he
have
knows
his
which
list.
ones can have leverage applied to make them your people.
Mm-hmm.
I have his contact list, everything. You need help, I got you. Just
Oh,
find me
fantastic.
the story.
All right, cool.
So as you get
Okay.
close to Baltimore, of course, traffic picks up a little.
Yeah.
And it only really picks up as you get to outside the Museum of Art. They're having it's after hours gala is what it says right at the front, celebrating 100 years of jazz music, culture, and influence on the world.
I actually request the driver to go.
Scott?
Scott, to basically drop the others off first, so that just Steve, Lily, and Sam are in the car.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it time?
Just about
Where do you
before
want,
we get out of the car.
ma'am? Where do you want me to drop them? Just around the corner?
Around the corner, so they can make their way to their entrances.
Yes, ma'am. And as you go around the block, when she does a loop, there's several fire entrances on the level, both on the bottom, which is the first floor, and the slightly elevated second floor. Gertrude's overlooks a nice stone or sculpture garden. There's a balcony right there on Gertrude's that overlooks the sculpture garden, of course, in the restaurant. And Jack has asked you to drop him off, of course, in front at Gertrude's because he can go straight in. He's got his own entrance that way. And you guys,
We go right up to the front.
right now. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of fire escapes or fire exits around the building. You guys just pick one.
I would have been studying the map the whole way up, and would probably pick one that's fairly close to the security room.
The
that's
security
where
room
Steve-
is not on the map, but your assumptions would be it would be near the coat room. Though someone who could tell you where it was, Jack could probably tell you where the security room was because, well, he's worked in there before.
Okay, so I will consult with Steve and Jack while I'm studying the map, and we will figure this out.
Okay, the security room, based on what Jack said, is right off of. Let me switch glasses so I can read my maps here because I can't read with the long ones. It's right off the Antioch Court. It's right by. There's a set of bathrooms, and then there's a set of an escalator going up, and the security room is right near it. between it and the modern art collection. So the security room itself doesn't have a fire exit near it, but there is one down the hall from it. There's an emergency exit right in the English sporting art, which, based on what the subject of tonight's gala is would be a dark, closed-off gallery area that nobody would be walking through at the moment. So it'd be an
That
easy place
sounds
to do.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're dropped off out front, of course, there's people coming and going into it. They're being checked at the door. There's people coming. Does anyone bring? Nobody brings any weapons, right?
No,
Except, of course, Jack's coming in and he can bring whatever he wants since he's coming in through a non.
Lily has
He's
left
going in through a
Lily has
employee entrance.
the gun secured in the car. She does have her hair stake. Yeah.
Scott's like, ma'am, there's no real parking here.
That's fine. You find parking somewhere nearby.
Yes, ma'am.
And then if we have to leave in a hurry, I'll shoot you a text. You just go home.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna
We'll get
wrap.
an Uber.
So before we get out,
Get an
it's
Uber.
Sam, Steve, and Lily in the car. I'm going to rouse. I succeeded, thank God. Okay.
Watch the hunger.
I know, right?
And Jack, while she's as you get in there, of course, Gertrude's is hopping tonight because of the people in the gala. They're serving the drinks. The Gertrude's is not open to the public. It is only tonight serving the gala itself. But you're taken straight in. You go into the back, into the kitchen area, and are actually able to use employees to slip right into the gala itself without having to go through the metal detectors or deal with the security. You're slipping in the back parts.
I got 7
Okay, do I
successes
see
on entrancement.
Gertrude?
7? Okay, make a note. No, Gertrude's not
You
there
entranced all
tonight.
night.
Yep.
But
Okay.
her managers are all there, and he's like, "You're good to go." She let me know that you got it, man. Whatever you need, come talk to me. I've got you. And the manager is Nick.
Nick,
So
long
that
time
should
no
be
see.
6 hours of entrancement.
Yep. And you got 7 successes on that. That's good to know.
Because it's
So
automatically,
6
even if you
hours.
don't resist, you count as having 1 success
Yep.
against
He
it.
didn't resist. She rolled 7 successes, but Steve did not resist, so
Right.
he only has 1 success to resist it. That's just you not resisting. So she's running 6 successes. She gets 6 hours. I ripped my headpiece off. So as you pull up, of course, yeah, there's a number of the crowd well dressed. Most of them. Some of them are wearing chic.
Casual chic?
No, not even chic. Like jeans.
Mm.
Where they're wearing $500 pair of jeans that you recognize that don't look like $500 pairs of jeans. They're made, to look like they're raggedy, but anyone who knows what they're looking at knows that's not just raggedy ass jeans.
Yeah.
They're meant to look that way.
Well, Lily is actually wearing a nice evening gown, not excessively sparkly or anything like that. It's very classy. Yeah.
And you can see clearly that right at the main doors there's a guard with a list.
Mhm.
He's checking. But the lines right now, the going in isn't that many. Most of the people are already in there
Already
that are
in.
going in. It's just ones or twos.
Mhm. So,
And the guard, as you approach, it's a rather large African American man in a nice suit, a large man. Looks like he's probably a linebacker when he's not on a guard on a door. And he's carrying a Beretta on his waist, and he's got a clipboard. And he's names.
and I do entrancement again.
Roll for his resist. Did you get hungrier?
Yes, I did.
Okay, hang on a second.
Holy
my.
shit.
Oh boy.
No,
this
I'm
is-
at 3. I'm fine. I'm not going to rage.
She took 1 off of Ludlow.
Yeah,
I'm now at 3.
the voice in your head.
Don't forget you
And
took a
when
snack
get
with you.
hungrier, the voice in your head. Ludlow's not good enough. He's not one of us.
I just ignore
There's
her.
no advantage to that. How come you ignore me? You destroyed me and now you won't even listen to me. And
I
then
got
the voice
7
gets quiet.
successes on that guy.
His eyes kind of widen a bit and he smiles. And,
Hi, Lily
Hey.
Sanger. Don't you remember?
yeah, yes, I do. Yeah, of course. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you right.
Thank
It slipped my
you.
mind. Yes. What can I do for you, beautiful?
Well, we're just coming in for the party
Oh,
tonight. I
oh.
hear it's hopping.
I mean, you're not on the list, but
you know,
for
I'm
you.
on the list.
don't worry. You just slip right in there, just go right in.
No
don't worry
problem.
about that.
Thank
Walk
you
right,
so
just go
much.
through the metal detectors. No,
Yep.
just,
No problem.
hang on. There, see?
I'm on the list.
There you go. You're
There
good
you
to
go.
Hey, can you get your number? Can you get the digits?
I'll give them to you on my way out.
Promise? Go on in. Go on in. And then as you go in, his head dips as you're
As
walking
he's
in.
watching me sashay my butt right in there.
And with that, you're inside. And when you enter the main area, which is the I gotta switch glasses. I gotta be able to read my maps. As you go into the Fox Court, of course, it is decorated with banners and artwork, and there's display cases that have like saxophones, normally owned by famous jazz musicians, and gold records and albums. I mean, this is done up as 100 years of jazz. As you come in, it goes the whole 100 years, so it starts all the way back in the Roaring 20s, and it just moves forward. And of course, the moment you see the Roaring 20s, you understand exactly why Cassandra is here. As a flapper, before she was embraced, it is definitely getting into her time period where she was comfortable. There's of course no sign of her. It's rather busy. There's got to be a couple hundred people here, either filing through the Fox Court, looking or talking in small groups and walking around and introducing each other. But your entrance doesn't seem to have caused a stir at all. Nobody even really pays attention. And Ludlow just looks around and goes,
I'm going to rouse to look alive. I succeeded. So I have flush of life. But I popped all.
You popped all? Okay.
Yeah.
And a couple people turn their heads and look a bit.
I just smile. Yeah. I'm looking for either concierge.
Well, you were told. Jack told you the security room is off of Antioch Court.
Okay, so we're gonna work our way towards. We're gonna work our way towards that.
Yep.
Yep.
Jack, and I assume Jack, you're gonna meet them around Antioch Court as they're coming through.
Of course.
And you're sitting there waiting because you just went straight through and didn't have to bother to even speak with the guard as Sam, Lily, and the good doctor come up right through the Fox Court into the main entry.
Sam, Lily, and Steve.
Sam, Lily, and Steve. Sorry, yeah, Sam, Lily, and the doctor, because there's two of them. Dangerous. Come through Fox Court into the Antioch Court, of course. And when you get into Antioch Court, it's obvious that they've done this room as jazz in the 50s or 60s kind of a range. It seems like they're using different rooms for different eras. This is a more later style, of course, but again, there's a lot of stuff there. You can hear the music in the background. You can hear coming from the auditorium an actual live performance going on over in the auditorium area, but that's the opposite direction, of course, from the security room. And as you turn the hallway, there's people going up and down the escalators, but oddly enough, not that many people are going up to the third floor at all.
Okay.
There's only one escalator that's going up, and most of the people seem to be on the second floor, which you entered, and of course the first floor, which is where Jack came in at Gertrude's. Now, Jack, you know from being here that the third floor is where the by appointment or special purpose rooms are.
And I found that on the maps.
Right. So you understand why there's nobody really going up there at the moment, because those aren't the rooms that the general public gets to go to.
Right.
And as you approach the door, and it says on it security, it's closed, of course. It's a security office, and that's it. Doesn't say do not enter, but it's right by a set of bathrooms and, of course, an escalator going up and down. There's both directions.
And looking around, we've seen cameras everywhere.
Oh, yes, there's cameras.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in this place right now, especially for this presentation, that from a musical or jazz perspective are quite valuable. There are items from people, from the 20s forward, famous musicians, famous performers, famous locations, all that were saved from one of the jazz bars that burned down. I mean, this is the kind of art they have. It's 100 years worth of stuff. It's amazing stuff.
It is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody seemed to have been looking at you guys kind of oddly, but you lost her in the crowd.
Did I get a glimpse of what she looked like?
No, you got just you felt more than anything else, but then you lost her in the crowd.
Okay.
Dark hair, you caught that. You swore maybe violet eyes. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
But you did catch a glimpse. It just struck you as odd because she stared harder than she should have.
Than she should have?
Right.
Okay. Got you.
So, as you approach the security door, it's closed. Now, Jack, you know this part. That's definitely where the security room is.
Is Jack with us now?
No, Jack's with you because he came in through the other entrance.
Okay, got it.
And he was waiting in the Antioch Court.
Okay, got
like
it.
what took you so long because he was here.
I had to schmooze my way through.
You know?
In order, You guys are here.
Yeah, we're here.
You're at the security door.
Mm-hmm.
And what do?
We knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door,
Walk in.
and of course, after knocking on the door, it takes a couple seconds. It doesn't take long before the door opens.
I've got awe up, so his
Yep.
eyes are immediately on me. I succeeded that rouse check for entrancement.
Hang on. Okay, and then roll your entrancement roll.
Okay.
That part. And, it's a little bit tougher. That.
I missed one. So that is 4, 5, 6.
He looks good. Can I help you?
He resisted. Okay, so I'm gonna do.
No. Sam steps up to the door.
Okay,
And Sam,
that's why he's back up.
you're going to let us in there. And you're going to shut the door behind you. The guard looks. Okay. And he just turns around and goes
Okay,
in the
and
office.
we walk in, and then I'm gonna feed on him.
Damn!
Because how dare he resist me?
And the door's closed, and the guy stands there for a minute, and Sam, just wait. Okay? He's not resisting, so you can
I'm
feed.
going to feed.
How much you going to take from him?
I'm gonna take 2.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
That
kill
puts him
him.
pretty weak.
I'm not gonna kill him, but he's gonna be drowsy. And it is manipulation and persuasion.
Jack's just fucking
That's for
shoulders right
hunting.
now.
You can just take the fucker.
Okay, I'll just take it. So
Yeah, that's
I'll
for
just
actually
take 2.
hunting. You don't have to seduce him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
He's
I
standing.
know, but
got hit.
seducing him gives me a boost.
just
I believe Jack has glasses on.
The
He doesn't
blood,
see
you
her.
don't really get a taste of
course
resonance in
not.
the blood because it's obvious that his mind right now is kind of
Out of it.
schnookered.
And I look at Sam and say, "Thanks, darling."
You could have left the drop.
I did.
Not bad, Doc. Not bad.
If I had my bag, he wouldn't wake up tonight.
And I
And
basically.
they're in a bank of cameras.
Yep.
I mean, there's monitors everywhere.
Okay,
But
so
Sam looks and goes, if you're here, what happens when he breaks free of my hold? By the way, Lily, I need you to do this is an odd roll. Not one I've done before. I want to go with wits. I got to watch bumping my head into the camera or into the microphone. Go wits. Wouldn't be medicine. Let's go with wits and awareness for you. Just
I mean, we could send them home for the day.
I got 4.
there's something off about that blood you drank.
It's been dominated.
There's there's something else off about it. You
Please don't
tasted a
tell
few
me
kindred, so he's got a trace of kindred blood in his
Fucking
system.
ghoul.
Yeah.
And I say that to
What?
him, he's a fucking ghoul.
I raise my glasses up. Are you sure?
Yes. Oh, I know what
She's
those
here.
taste like, darling.
Oh, then she's here. More
Yeah.
than likely, she's here.
Yeah.
Sam goes,
She ghouled the hell out of him.
She ghouled the guards.
I'll watch here.
Okay.
I'll make sure he stays right where he is.
Okay.
He won't break with me in the room. And if he does, he won't leave the room.
Okay.
I won't make the mistake I did with that
So I'm down 2
damn
guys
werewolf
now.
again.
Yeah.
You take Steve with you.
No.
Are you sure?
I can run this.
Okay.
Ask the guard in his weakened state, when does your shift change?
Just gonna ask him what time are you supposed to get off? And the guy thinks a minute. 7 a.m. Looking at the cameras now that you're sitting in the room, of course.
Yeah, I wanna
You've
see
got
where
full
she
control. On the 3rd floor, and they're marked where they're looking. Right outside one of the rooms, it is actually marked Prints, Drawings, and Photograph Study Room.
Oh, God, of course.
There's no cameras in the room, but right outside the door, you see two beefy guards standing there in front of the door. Just by themselves, standing there.
Okay, so
It's the only room that has guards outside the entrance to the room. And it seems to be the only room based on your map that doesn't have cameras on in the room.
I send a text to Quartermain and Locke and say 3rd floor Prince room.
When you say
And we need to get the fire escape open for them.
okay. And when you say cameras that are on in the room, does that mean there are no cameras, or there's
No
simply
cameras in that. When there's,
turned on?
you don't see any on any of the monitors. If they were on, it's not on any of the monitors you see in front of you.
Just I gotta watch your word.
Yep. Oh, I understand. You gotta watch my phrasing. I got that. I know how y'all get paranoid and shit.
Good reason.
And Ludlow goes and looks at the guard. Turn off the fire alarm doors, please.
Oh, God. I love Ludlow.
Turn off fire alarm, burn the whole thing
And the
down.
guard mechanically walks over. Ludlow has has. This isn't the same level of abilities you saw Ludlow before. Ludlow seems to have improved.
Lily
He's not even meeting the man's eye anymore.
thoroughly impressed.
He's just talking, and the dude's doing what he says.
And Lily looks at Sam and says, "You never fail to impress me."
I had a busy journey
I
across
can tell.
the U.S.
I can tell.
I had to pick up.
You want to say this now? I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
At some point, Jack, you and I will have a talk, and you'll hear my story about what taught me to get a little better control after a werewolf took me to the beach, of all things. I'm
By the
sure
way,
they can tell.
We still need to have a talk about that.
I'm sure.
Ooh.
And then
Well, I'll come
the
to
guard
purgatory.
hits some buttons,
I'll come
and
here.
you see the bank where it says the alarms. They all go from green
To red.
to unlit.
Or to unlit. Okay.
Yeah, he just shuts them all off. Like,
Okay. Okay. So we're going to head up to the 3rd floor, darling.
are you going to let them in
And I
first
te-
and meet them up?
Huh?
Right? Where are you going to meet?
I sent them a text. 3rd floor Prince room.
Well, if you go up there, you might want to go together because if
That's
you're up
what
there in
I'm
the
saying.
hallway, you're the only ones in the hallway.
Yeah.
You'll be seen immediately. So where are you going to tell them to meet you?
Yeah, let's pick a different place, like that's just like.
Okay, so there's basically like a
Well, there's the escalator's up. The escalator's up actually lead to the library.
the library's right
Library and
outside of it.
archives is outside of it.
Yeah,
before
let's
you
go
get to
there.
that section. So you can get into the library and archives
Yeah,
without
let's
getting
go
straight
there.
to where she's at.
Let's go there.
Meet at the top
How
of the
many
escalator
people are there?
From the cameras in that whole 3rd floor only has 2 people that you can see on
In
the
the
whole
hallway.
floor.
Yep.
And that's the 2 big guards.
Is there, if you look at the map, is there entrance into the Prince room from any of the other rooms?
No.
There is a side room off of the Prince room, but that is where the books are stored.
Right. So
The Prince
basically,
room is
you go
used,
into the library, you go out into the hallway and into the
Right.
Prince room.
The Prince room is actually a where you can study the old texts. They're not kept out often. It's why it's by appointment only, because most of them can't handle the air or any real light because it'll damage them. So they're stored in a room off it. And if you want to see any of them, you have to get an appointment and get it approved, and then they'll bring them into the room just for you to look at them, and then they get put back. She has obviously repurposed the room because when it's not used to study it, it's an empty room, except for the desks, of course, and the places you would look at the
And
documents.
there
at.
wouldn't be any windows because the sunlight
Because
would
sunlight
damage
right,
the
would damage
documents.
the documents, right?
So that's her little hideout.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's just 2 guards out front
Yep.
because that's the only people you see on that whole floor.
Okay, so we're meeting at the
The escalator?
escalator, going up to the library.
So she tells you that the doors are unlocked. Now, opening a fire escape from the outside is a little bit difficult, but if Locke wants to roll strength plus,
yeah, she wants to roll.
you want to go strength plus athletics or strength plus brawl? What do you want to do? You want to just try to fucking tear that door to
Fucking
pieces?
open it.
Strength plus brawl then,
Oh.
Oh boy.
to get your hands in the edge and just pull it off.
Yeah, fuck it.
Strength
So
is
try not to pull it off.
pull it,
Jeez.
pop it open enough.
Don't break it now. Come on.
What? It's not your place.
She's got a resource
Yeah,
slot now. She can pay damages.
I don't think she cares
Yeah,
about
but we
that.
don't want somebody walking by and noticing something strange.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
Oh, that's enough. She gets her fingers right in the edge and pulls, and you hear a pop noise as the bar, it's a push bar for all of those. It snaps,
Okay.
and the door just kind of pulls open.
Perfect. Good job.
After the boss.
Wait a minute.
And as you enter, Yeah, you're in a
He
unlit,
vanishes.
dimly but unlit. How'd you do for your rouse check?
I was fine.
Okay, it's a dimly lit room where it's, as I said before, it's full of English sporting art, which is odd. Seeing a whole bunch of art of, you know, fox hunts and it's just weird. But it's dimly lit. But this room exits right to where, of course, right by the security office and the stairs up. And as you come out of the room, of course, you see the security door closed, and you go up the escalator and you run into Ludlow, or you run into Steve and Lily. Ludlow nowhere to be seen, and Jack.
And I look at you and say, Ludlow's in the security room making sure the guard there is doing exactly what we want them to do.
Let's just say this: the doctor impresses Bruja.
We fucking knew it. We knew you were
Oh,
Well, as soon as he was Bjorn's man, you knew he had to be a Bruja.
Okay.
And this right here is where we're going to take our break.
Okay.
Right outside, where you're going to confront what you believe would be Cassandra with her guards.
Or
The Elder
her guards
Malkavian.
and she's inside.
The Elder Malkavian with a blood hunt on her that has been known to entrance Steve. Which personality of Cassandra are you about to meet?
Who knows?
Because she's got different ones. If it's the kid, how are you going to react to having to...
Give her what she wants.
If it's the child that wants to play?
Oh no! If it's the
It's not
actual
a real
person
child.
that she was, give her what she wants.
You've only met Cassandra and
And
Cassie.
Cassie.
That's the two personalities you've met. You have been told she has
Multiple.
dozens. But you've only met two. So we're going to take a break right here, and we will be back in 10 minutes, everybody. So, get a drink, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs. That's what we do when we have break. And we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Muckabee.
And hang on.
Allow me to introduce myself, though I fear you've heard my name, and that you've heard the story of Countess Bathory. History is told by the victors, heroic warriors, and mad kings. Will you hear my story from the lips of Bathory? They call me King Demon, Queen of Hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, beautiful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Je blood Bathory. I was very wealthy and powerful, a widow with political rivals keen to destroy me and take my property. My plea was never offered, all my confessors were all tortured, or how they destroyed me. For my property, they put me up, shut me up, shut me up, put me up, shut me up, and told a story of a bitch called Bathory. Let's King Demon, Queen of Hell, sadistic that authority. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. I've always been the hunter, nothing on my tail. But there was something in you I knew could make that change. To capture a predator, you can't remain the prey. You have to become an equal in every way. So look in the mirror and tell me, who do you see? Is it still you? Or is it me? Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. So embrace the darkness, and I will help you see that you can be limitless and fearless if you follow me. We are the lions in the world of lies. We are the predators, the hunters, the hunters, the hunters. Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? terrify you? Or do you feel alive?
And we are back. Welcome back. Where we left off, of course, was you were right at the top of the escalator on the third floor, out at the right at the library and archive section. And it's a library. There's books. I mean, it's not like a huge library, but it's basically a whole bunch of books on art. And if you want to learn about art, it's the place to learn it. But
No, we just go talk to Art, because that's how you learn about art.
That's true.
No, actually, that's a really bad way to learn about art. He's really unreliable.
Yeah, that's true too.
No.
But there is a door, of course, that leads to the hallway that you saw. It's not a very long hallway, so as soon as you come through the door, you're pretty much right there inside of the guards, but you're not through the door yet. The door's closed. And I think Locke told me there was something she wanted to do before we go forward on that.
Before we go forward, get in contact with Ludlow. Text, preferable, but they can get on the horn if they have to. Who were the last people that went in that room? And how many? So, like, rollback footage, play it back,
Give him
rollback.
one of your closed loop communication devices, because you guys did have some
We
encryption.
do have earpieces.
It took some doing, but you did get your encrypted voice shortwaves. 1 second. That's his reply on the comm. I'm rewinding the tape. She went in there an hour ago. Has it come out?
Just her?
She had 2 people with her. By their movements, I don't think they were in their right mind.
So probably not.
Lovely.
Probably not high-level ghouls.
Yeah.
All right.
If
Cool.
Gould at all, they could be playthings.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to do 2 rounds.
She's in there as Cassie, and they're all playing Candyland.
Yeah.
Your phone vibrates in your pocket, Lily.
Okay.
Speaking of ghouls,
Jack, yes.
we ran into ghouls down the security room. She ghouled the guards down in that room.
Scott, I text you.
Oh.
Things are odd where I'm parked. I'm attracting attention I shouldn't.
Go home. I'll get away home.
Go to Starbucks.
Yes, ma'am. Careful.
Will be.
Number of vehicles gathering.
Okay. And I relay that to everybody. Number of vehicles are gathering. Scott, I've sent home because we'll worry about getting home a different way. If we got to, we take a train.
I'll make sure I get you guys out of here.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll make my way back to DC afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, she ghouled the guards. Lily can vouch
The
for me on
2
that.
guards outside are very likely Gould. The one I snacked on downstairs was a Gould.
So if she ghouled the security in the camera room, you know the 2 outside are
Yeah, the 2 outside are door ghouls.
Yeah.
But very likely the 2 she took in the room with her are probably a snack or a plaything. Okay? If the way they were acting, they were probably heavily dominated. Yeah.
All right. I need to rouse a few things.
All right.
For toughness.
Okay, hang on. Locke's got a few rousing
I
to
was
do.
already rousing.
Go ahead. Do yours. What are you rousing?
I succeeded on 2 rouses for Majesty.
Okay. Wow, Poppin' Majesty. She's going straight to it.
I'm going baller, baby.
And as for me, I'm rousing myself. I want to have prowess ready in case we got to throw down.
Yep.
I rouse toughness, prowess from pain, and feral weapons.
Jesus Christ, you're going in there deep.
I'm fucking ready. I am too hungry though.
So that puts you at 4?
3. No, 3. I've been in
The
1.
beast, just you can hear it growl in your head. Let me free. Let's play. Let's show them what we are.
Oh, and Jack succeeded on his rouse roll. He has prowess ready. He has his hand in his right pocket. And he has the brass knuckles on his knuckles now.
Okay.
That's what he did.
I told you he punches people.
I did rouse.
I do. I have to
my
have a gun
charisma
in
for
my
my
pocket.
roll, so when I have to compete against her as well, I'll have that boost to charisma.
He punches people and sobriety. Favorite brouhaha.
He definitely knocks the sobriety right out of people.
Right out of people.
Punch sobriety in the nuts.
That's right. So, you all ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
As you,
Got Lily.
And Lily, and legit, Lily looks like, I mean, she.
yeah, you guys can feel it. She's got majesty on. You can feel it. There's like,
You are in the
she's like,
presence of the divine.
yeah, like an otherworldly presence with you. It's the oddest thing. And since Steve Perry's in love with Lily at the moment, he's really like salivating, almost your kindred. You don't,
Right.
but he can't
Okay,
seem to
I
tear
have
his eyes
to ask,
from her.
Steve.
No.
Steve, I have to ask.
Don't derail
Do
it.
you have a chub?
Oh,
Does he have a
Dude.
chub? No, he
Didn't
doesn't.
rouse
that.
He didn't
He
rouse
can't.
that.
And five
No, he
humanity,
can't.
he can't even fake it.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
He can't even fake it.
Oh,
Sorry, man.
yeah.
I know you wanted to see it,
Perfect
but
relationship for Lily because she
Yes,
don't
right.
want none anyway.
I was hoping just for, a little tenting. Just a little.
Little petting, light petting as we go for the
No,
fight.
no petting.
So everybody ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
When you
Yeah.
open the door, the guards, they don't have guns on their hip.
Good.
So, but they do have large batons.
hmm
And as soon as you come in,
Their eyes are on me.
they hold them and they're staring, just watching.
We need to see her.
You're going to roll.
Charisma.
No, first you've
And
got to
presence.
do. Hang on. You've got two different ones you've got to do first because you've got your majesty, and that's
And-
going to be manipulation plus. No, wrong one. Hang on.
Charisma.
Charisma plus presence
Presence.
versus their composure plus resolve.
And that's why I roused to increase charisma. Because that's a whole handful of dice.
Did you activate? Or the unswayable mind is always activated, right, Locke?
Yes. Locke is very much not looking
I
at.
got 9.
Not that good of a roll. That was one of them got 7.
Damn. I'm glad I got 9.
damn. Nice. That got his glasses on, so he didn't see it.
The other one-
Good.
Both of them. Their hands dip a bit. Mistress said not to be disturbed.
And hang on.
But their hands drop down.
And I'm going to say, drop your weapons.
They let them go. They just don't disturb the mistress, please.
Oh, we won't disturb her. She's expecting us.
Okay.
And step aside, please.
They step not far from the door, but step a little bit.
Okay. And I say, there you go. Door's open.
As soon as you get close to the door, though, they suddenly jump and spring towards you.
And I look at them and say, stop.
They've got a dominated.
I understand, but they are adverse to wanting to attack me.
Yes, but they have a right, not a you. They have a submerged directive that if anyone goes to the door
Yeah. a jump
without her saying let them in, through, to attack them immediately.
up. Okay.
Boy, fine with me.
Yep.
I have a go action throw down today. Let's go.
Bring it.
They immediately spring. So I know you guys they're not surprising you. There's no way in hell because you'd still expect.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's
Yeah, we
everyone's
can-
actions this turn? You know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to
Let's
be
see.
trying to
I'm
get
going
you with their
to.
hands because they have no clubs.
Yeah, I made them drop their weapons.
Cool. We're defenseless, so I can take a swing. No problem.
I grapple one.
So Jack is gonna try to beat him
I'm
down.
punching one.
Locke is
Yeah.
grappling one. Steve Perry,
I,
you don't have your knives, but you can still punch him and try to beat him down.
that's about the
You
only
can
thing
pick
I
up the
can
club or one of their billy
You can
clubs
pick
and
up a club.
swing their billy club. That turns it from brawl to melee because it's a billy club.
do. All right.
There you go.
I'll grab the closest one to me.
Yep. So you'll go last is what I'll do for that. Lily, you
I'm
are?
backing out of the way.
Lily's getting the fuck out of the way.
I'm getting the fuck out of the
Quartermain.
way. And I'm going to use fleetness to do so.
Okay.
Nice.
And Quartermain, you are?
I've been hanging back and I'm not seen.
Yeah, because you're invisible. So, here's how
He
it's
just
going to
wants
go
to
down.
fight.
Locke and Jack are going to go. They each got one, so we'll roll it opposed. So you can use strength plus brawl or dex plus brawl. It's up to you, Jack. It's whichever one. Whether you're a brute force or you are.
I'm doing strength plus ball.
I figured as much. So this would be, this is the roll for the one that's going up against Locke. I rolled his numbers.
I got success on this.
Wow, really? Okay, and then the one that goes up against Jack.
Oh, I do have power stuff, so
Yep.
that might help you.
Okay, so roll. Tell me how many successes you got. I know how many they got. Not enough. They are not at the same level as Kindred, that's for sure.
I got a 4 for the grapple.
That's enough to beat him.
Yay!
I got a 6.
Good for you.
Wow. Okay, so you got
Yeah.
6 with prowess. So you
Probably.
beat him.
That's just extra damage.
You
I
beat
already
him by a
had-
margin of 3. You've got. I still hit my head, Mike. You've got a brass knuckle, which adds
Brass
1,
knuckle.
so that makes it a 4. You've also got prowess up,
Yeah.
which pushes it even further.
I was taking no damage. I was taking no chances on this. No.
Good for you.
Mhm. Which for
I'm
you
hoping you
means
guys
it
take your
pushes it to. I printed the sheet up and it's not right in front of me. Here it is, Jack.
Yep.
Okay, so you've done 5 damage, not halved,
Nice.
because they're mortals. They don't have
Shit,
it.
they're dead.
You cold cock
Yeah.
the guard and knock him clean the fuck out. You guys see when the guard moves on Jack.
He's
Jack
like,
just
his
kind
head
of when
snaps
that fist comes at Jack, Jack just kind of slips to the side and just punches dude right in the side of the jaw, and just dude crumples just immediately. Goes straight to
I
the
look
floor.
at the guy that said, "Take the night off."
You've got yours hemmed up. You've got him held for sure. He did not fight you. Now, Steve, you've got a choice. You can swing at the one Locke's holding. Gives you a good advantage on him.
Mhm.
But don't fuck up your roll. Because you might hit Locke with a billy club. Or with a baton, basically.
Yeah, don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
don't
won't,
hit my
that
She's
won't
got
matter.
prowess from pain, though. You're just going to make her really hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That won't matter.
then
She'll
should I
get
aim
jacked.
for luck instead?
Hey, don't hurt my boss now. Come on.
It might help his roll.
Might help her roll. Because she will get
That is true.
she
It'll
will
help her
get
roll.
tough when you do that. So roll
Yes,
the
yeah.
dice.
I'm going to do that.
You're going to hit Locke with
Yeah.
For it. You're at me?
Yes.
I don't think by accident. But
I mean, I'll make it look like an accident. Oh, sorry.
So roll, Steve.
All right, what am I rolling?
You're rolling Dex plus Brawl, or Dex plus Melee for you.
Dex. Melee.
And Locke, I'm counting already your successes on your grapple for this, so yeah,
No.
Dex plus Melee.
Now, potence influences how?
Adds damage when you hit him.
Okay.
So Dex plus Melee first. Locke's got 6 successes, so if you don't roll 6, she's just pulled the guy that she's grappling right in front of her, and you smacked him anyway.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You're, well,
2 successes. So he swings. Locke, it looks like he's about to hit you, but you take the guy that you're grappling and just slide him in front of you a little bit more, and he proceeds to clock the guy that you're holding.
okay.
that works.
You hear a grunt in pain as the guy gets hit.
That's cool. I don't really care. You're just softening them up for me. Because I have a different plan.
The guard
Yeah.
shouts, "Mistress!"
I
Now
got
what's
six,
everybody
I
doing?
got 6 successes. on my feet.
Okay, yeah, you're out of the way. He's
I'm out of the way.
They didn't hit you. You just kind of dodged out.
I dodged
This
out
ain't my
and got
thing.
the hell out.
So Locke, you've got him in a grapple. Now when you do it, he's in deep shit. So we'll handle that right off because Locke's got him grappled. So she gets the first crack.
I'm feeding.
Feeding? Okay, so you get to roll. You've got him grappled, so you don't take the called shot penalty. You only do 2 damage, but you've got to beat him or it breaks the grapple. So you just do your normal
Alright.
grapple roll.
So let's
Okay,
see.
well, I see tonight my dice are rolling Steve Perry style.
She pressed the dice.
Steve, why did you switch dice with me when you went? Well, no, you rolled horrible too.
Yeah, he rolled 2.
I rolled 4 with a crit.
Yep. You sink your teeth in him
Yeah,
and
and
take 2 blood right away. You can only do 2. You don't have brutal feed though, but you can drain 2. She starts feeding.
Around.
Yeah, she
I
starts
absolutely
feeding.
drained 2 from this asshole.
Yep.
Good for you.
From his asshole.
No,
That's
me.
an odd grapple.
Damn.
Just get a straw, jam it in there.
I mean, that's a different kind of grapple when you think about it.
She grabbed him by the taint, apparently.
I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And when you do that, he
You gotta
goes
feed
limp.
us, CC.
He literally goes limp as she starts feeding and passes out immediately.
Good.
He didn't have much blood. Apparently, he's been sipped on
Sipped on.
recently.
Oh, so he's dead.
You hear, you don't know yet. He's most likely dying at this point. Not that you care, because it's
Not that I care, but ooh.
you hear noises in the room
I'm about
beyond.
to say that's a hell of a top off.
You hear noises in the room beyond.
Oh, of course, she coming
heard the
now.
scream.
She coming now.
Well,
Oh, she coming.
Or the other things are coming. Okay, so let's open the door, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not
I'll
going
end
in first.
Who's opening the door?
Not me.
I will. Oh no, I shouldn't because
No, yeah,
You stay
let
with
me do it.
darling.
yeah.
Jack, you open a door, and it's the
Yeah.
damnedest thing you've ever seen when you open a door. When you open the door, the mayor of D.C. is on all fours in his underwear. And she is sitting in a chair with her legs propped up on his back. She's been using him as a footrest.
Mayor of DC or both?
Or sorry, not mayor of D.C. Mayor of
Oh,
Baltimore.
wait,
The mayor of Baltimore is being used as a footrest.
Oh my god.
wait, do they see this behind me?
Oh yeah, it's you
Oh yeah,
open the door, they're all
I'm
crowd
just
behind
now
you.
walking up, and I'm like, okay, I strangely
And
approve of this.
There's another man you don't recognize, though he's oddly familiar. He's beside her, and he's got a cup or a tray with a silver chalice on it, and he's just kneeling beside her with it, just holding it like this.
Oddly
waiting.
familiar.
Oddly familiar for Jack.
Oh, okay.
You might have seen
Oh,
him somewhere.
boy.
It might be one of the council members for the city. It's somebody important in the city. You know that. You just don't recognize him off the top of your head.
This is why I want to leave Baltimore. This is why.
And when you step in, she's sitting in a chair and she doesn't even like flicker.
Okay.
She's waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And do you guys just step in the room?
Sure.
I'm stepping in the room. I'm gonna be a real dick and take a picture of this. I'm gonna ruin the mayor. I thought it was nice.
And
I'm
look
gonna
at
ruin
as
his
you're
life.
doing that, I'm like, I'm gonna make sure you get my number. You send that to me.
So as everyone else is coming in the room, Jack steps aside, whips out his phone, and just gets a
Snaps a
picture real quick. As soon as her eyes see you, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, Steve. You're gonna roll, buddy.
No, Mama.
It's
Lily's gonna roll.
contested.
It's contested because
Well, no,
I
we
already
already know
got it.
your successes. You have 7.
Yeah.
She's gonna roll against yours and him. So
And-
you roll as well, Steve.
Okay.
You're gonna roll. Since we're doing entrancement, we're gonna go with. You're gonna roll composure plus wits. She's rolling charisma plus presence. And so she gets her dice.
And I had 7.
Sheet handy a minute ago. There we go.
I thought I had to roll again when it's
No,
contested.
no, we already know what
Okay.
your successes are. Your margin of success will
Okay.
stay. So you can roll. But you get your blood potency. Did you forget your blood potency when you used it?
No, I used it.
Oh. Yeah, she's got to beat both of you essentially.
Okay.
Nice.
Not combined, but both of you. Okay, so roll, Steve.
And use a willpower if you need it.
Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3.
Is any of them? Is there only one crate on there?
He's not very good at this. That's why he got gap
roll
before.
the 2 black ones. Use a willpower.
Well, the thing is would it actually mean anything?
Yeah, one more.
I don't think
It's
he can
really a
talk to
question of whether
three, four.
he would, if she beat
She's got
him.
4.
The real question is if she beat Lily's roll, can he physically
Resist.
beat her roll?
Did she beat my roll?
Because you'd have to get 7 to do better than the entrancement that Lily already laid on your ass.
Mm-hmm. So you're
So-
still under mine.
You can feel as she looks at, hello, lover. You feel it pulling at your brain and tugging, and then it just kind of you feel it tatter and shatter and fall apart, replaced by the love of your current mistress.
Yes.
And do you look at
Lily.
and I take his arm and say, sorry, he's mine now, darling.
Aww.
Cool.
Yeah.
So why have you come here?
Oh, didn't you hear? There's a blood hunt. And I pass my steak over to Locke.
Oh God, please, no, I'm trapped here. She won't let me go. Please help
That's
me.
okay, we're
please.
going to end it for you.
And she
Yes.
just falls and starts crying.
Uh-huh.
Please, I'm trapped in this nightmare. I can't get away.
You'll get out tonight.
Then how about after that?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did
Yes.
you say he started crying blood tears?
She did.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought
I
the
thought
half of
she
the day said something.
And I just
Yeah,
make a
that's what I
comment,
was thinking,
interesting,
too.
she can do this on command. And I said,
So, what's everyone's action? Except Locke, who obviously was so frightened by her doing a little kid, was switching to the to some personality you haven't seen, because even Cassie didn't like this. Locke so disturbed she left.
So Locke has
Get a
Lily's
snack.
hair
She's
stick
back.
steak.
I'm working my way close to her.
Okay, you need to roll. Let's roll for your obfuscate to see if she sees you. First time you've had to roll for it against her. You're doing unseen passage, right? And she's going to go against you. Let me find which one it is. I got it written here. It's going to be her resolve all specs versus your. Let me find where it is. I know I've seen it here. I got to find it again. I know it's your obfuscate. Compose your obfuscate, isn't it? I think it is. We'll go with that just to make it quicker. She's not very good at this part, though. Auspex is not her strength. Resolve Auspex. She kind of has an aversion to it.
And Jack's finished taking the photos, by the way. He got the photos on the phone now.
Okay.
He will get them to Lily later.
All right, fabulous.
So what'd you get, Quartermain?
1 second.
Okay.
Ouch.
Ooh. That does not sound like a good ouch.
No, that's a good ouch. Don't worry. 1, 2, 7
Ow.
with a critical.
Oh, with a critical. That's an
Ow.
important distinction.
That's a distinction.
As you're moving around, she doesn't seem. Her eyes don't seem to flicker or move and give an indication that she sees you. She's waiting to see what the coterie going to do. What is everyone going to do?
Well, Lily
She's
has no
blubbering and
skills
crying
with
at
her
this
hands,
point.
so-
Please, please don't kill me, please. I'm trapped in here and she won't let me go.
If I'm behind her, I'm gonna grab her.
What are the two
You're gonna
guys?
grab
They're not moving.
Yeah.
Those guys are just
That would
not
help.
moving.
Flip her over.
Do you want to grab her first, Quartermain?
Steak.
If I'm behind her, I'm going to grab her. If I'm first, yes. If I don't know if I'm
Well, it's
first.
going to
or
take
not.
them a minute to get there. The question is,
He grabs her
Quartermain
first,
can
so
get behind her if the coterie doesn't approach immediately. If you go straight to her, of course, you'll beat him there because
yeah,
he's
I'm
going
not-
around a bit.
I'm not going
But-
to her.
The room basically has a few
Alright.
desks in it, but they've all been pushed to the side. She's got a chair, a table, and a bed, and 2 men dressed in almost nothing being used as furniture and a serving boy.
Okay, so
And
I'm
she's
looking
dressed
at
like
the
a flapper
team,
tonight.
and I'm telling them, get dressed and leave.
They don't move.
They're so dominant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I would guess, oh, my.
They'll
God,
snap
it'll
out
be-
of
So-
this eventually and be very confused.
Yep. Lovely.
Yeah.
You will
I'm
leave
making-
me, is what she says now. Everybody roll.
Okay.
You are all going to roll intelligence plus resolve.
Ooh.
Is she trying to?
Yes, you can add your
Succeeded on
disable one.
rouse.
What did I do this or no?
Yep. And you can rouse to increase it if you need to. One of them.
Fucking Steve Perry died tonight.
Burning a willpower. Okay.
I got 6.
Okay, and 6 for me as well.
4,
Okay.
5, 6, 7.
What's everybody else got?
I got an 8. Let's go.
Let's go.
What you got, Quartermain?
7.
I rolled 11 dice. Burned a willpower. Still only got 3 successes.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Damn.
And I see, darling, you're not on your A game
You can
tonight.
feel it tug at your mind as her order tries to make you. And what was the blubbering in the floor, it just snapped right back to
Oh, yeah.
once again Cassandra. And she told you to leave, and you felt it tug. You kind of pulled a little bit, but it had no hold. She couldn't get past your kindred in willpower. And in Locke's case, with her unswayable mind, you just felt it shatter against the mental fortitude
And I just
you
look her
built.
square in the eye and say, you're not on your A game tonight, darling.
I look at it. I look at it and say, what was you trying to do?
I'm intentionally antagonizing her. Distracting her so
So
you guys can do
am I.
something.
I'm
You
like,
win some, you lose some.
what was you
I
trying
rolled
to
the
do,
dice.
Cassandra?
I lost.
It didn't work. Whatever you was trying to do.
If you
I'm sorry.
think I'm going out begging, pleading,
Of course not.
if you're going to do it, do it. Get it over with.
Now I do it.
That's what grab her.
And that's where Quartermain gets to her and grabs onto her.
Because I distracted her.
But no,
It's a little help.
get out of here alive.
Oh, yes.
Oh
I
my
always
God.
have an exit strategy, darling.
Vitel figured you'd come after me.
Mhm.
They were watching.
Of
They were
course.
waiting.
Of course they are.
Holy
I
shit.
still have an exit.
And guess what? Gino, he's wanting to get some revenge. So what are you going to do? You're going to, Quartermain, you've grabbed her. She don't even fight you.
Oh, I bite her.
Okay. She's tried to fight you. She's tried to use her power. You've resisted what she had. She's going out
Like a boss.
like a primogen with dignity. She's going to just go
Oh,
out.
good. Then I'll Diablerize her like a boss.
She needs to be staged first, just so you know.
No, she don't. You can just
She's
drink
not
her
resisting.
down. She's not resisting. Drink her dry and then Diablerize her.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, we're going to do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Holy shit, second Diablery.
Woo!
No one else is getting in on that?
I wanted in on that.
Y'all can compete and see the libraries
well,
first.
that happened.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Cool.
Austin hands back the stage to Lily and says, okay, well,
Okay,
Thanks,
so
darling.
it'll be a very easy way to do the Diablery for a contestant. You pull up my Diablery rules again. I know exactly how to do it. You're both going to do the initial Diablery roll. Whoever gets the most successes on the very initial is the one
It's
who
the
got
one
the
who
soul.
gets to do it.
You get this out. Wow, everybody, double fighting over Diablery.
Look at him going
Yeah.
at it.
This is like y'all going after a feeding thing.
Well, she needs to go anyway.
But she wasn't going to go let y'all, she can't fight. That's not what she does. She used what she
Right.
did. Y'all were ready for it, and you beat it. Okay, so here's where we go first. You guys have to do, it's strength plus resolve is the initial strength, okay?
Can they rouse?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
But because of the way I do it, I don't do just strength. Strength is not the only way. I give y'all a choice. It's going to be resolve. You can either go strength plus resolve or composure plus resolve to get it. One is whether brute force rip her soul out, and the other is whether you can bring yourself to do it. Whoever gets the most successes on this first roll is the one who gets to continue
You need your
the rest of it.
Yeah.
So strength resolve or composure resolve from Quartermain and Steve, as both of them start drinking. Quartermain, by the way, you did get enough to drink you down to 0 hunger before Steve got in there.
Okay.
So you got the full drink. Now it's just fighting
Did
over the
Steve
soul.
get any?
No,
Okay.
Steve was approaching while Quartermain was getting all the blood
Okay.
out of her,
Okay.
and now you fight for the who gets the soul.
All right.
So there's none left.
Yeah.
And there's
What fucking
the
colory,
bonus
Jack?
doesn't
I swear.
affect this.
No, your blood potence doesn't affect your
Hey, I'm glad to be.
or composure plus
This is
resolve.
not keeping.
You can rouse if you want to try to add your blood dice to or more dice to it,
I would like
because
to
it
do
is a
that.
normal kind of thing. So can Quartermain. He can
You succeeded, so add,
You can
add that
rouse?
dice to it.
Yeah, your blood potency was 2.
Yeah.
Yes, you can add 1 more die to it. Quartermain can do the same if he wants.
My
No,
blood
you just
potency
need
is
to
also
rouse to add
2.
one more die.
Yep. So you want to add it? You're gonna rouse to get an
Yeah.
extra die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So composure plus resolve from both people. You can willpower this one.
4.
Okay.
Willpower.
Oh,
Roll
yeah.
those 2 blank blacks.
Yep. You can willpower this one. This is because it's not a willpower check, even though it's using the 2 stats. It's not.
You got a crit.
Yeah, but how many?
4, 5, 6, 7.
4, 5, 6, 7 with a crit.
Same.
Fuck.
It's
Okay,
tied.
so wait a minute. You've got to do it equal to a blood potency. So the first time you both got a good soul. There was 2 dice rolls anyway doing it. So you're tied on the first one. Do it again.
Okay.
You can keep if you've
The
already
rouse.
roused, you keep your rouse. So roll a second time. This is the one that kills her, right? This is the final 2 because she only has blood potency 2.
Hey, look, if this is how your party,
One,
you better invite me to the next one.
Okay. Willpower.
Remember to burn the willpowers off because that's the 2 willpower.
Fucking people. Why are they like this? They're all like this.
4, 5.
Because they're a
Okay,
good
how many
party.
you got, Quartermain?
What about, what
One
Quartermain was?
mixed up is
You were supposed to do
fucking
that
Do
roll
another
again.
composure plus
You
resolve.
said my name.
Yeah,
What?
another composure. Do another composure plus resolve because we got to do the
I
second
did.
one. What'd you
I
get?
did. Another critical. 1, 2, 3, 7 more.
You won.
You won.
Quartermain wins. Quartermain, you immediately lose a humanity. Now you roll humanity plus your blood potency.
Oh, I forgot. We still have those two in the room.
And this is not one, you don't have to use blood dice, and you can't use willpower on this one.
Yeah, let's
She rolls resolve plus blood potency. Let's see how she does coming back against you.
hold on.
Let's see if he comes out of the
Bill?
main or not. What?
Bill, is it my remaining humanity
Yes.
and
Yes.
my blood potency?
Yep.
Yes. So if you were at 7, you lost 1. You're down to 6. So 6 plus blood.
No, he was at- Yeah, you were at 7, so yeah, you get a 6.
6 plus blood.
And she rolls resolve plus blood potency.
Yeah, while that's going on, me and Rock are taking the bodies out of here.
I'm
The two
actually
guys out.
I'm actually leaving.
Hang on, just wait a second. Let's get this done.
I'm just stepping out of the room, give him some privacy while he does this.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
You
done
get the
this
people
before.
out of the room. Rod goes back to Lily.
What'd you
Can
get?
I have
Quartermain?
this back and takes the steak. Just
can't.
in case this goes
Sure,
badly.
go for it. And I take it out and hand it to her.
Because that is always an option.
Oh, it is.
Wait to hear Quartermain's roll.
A crit and 7 more.
Okay, so you beat her.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, he's always rolled like that since
He
we
rolls
played.
like that all the time.
Even though I don't see his dice, I've seen him physically in a room with me. He rolls like that. So
he rolls insane
trust me.
freaking rolls.
She had 4, so you don't lose any more humanity. You had 7. You get 35 experience. You can spend. You can't spend it on blood potency though because you have the same blood potency as her. You can spend.
I'm sorry, Bill. I didn't hear that part.
You have 35 experience. You cannot spend it on blood potency because you and her have the same blood potency.
Okay.
So you can't spend it on that, but you can spend it on auspex, presence, celerity, dominate, fortitude, or obfuscate.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Will you email that to me at some
Yes,
point?
we will.
You don't
Save
have to
that-
spend it right now.
Right, we will
Yeah.
save it. Well, it says spend immediately, but we will save it. Just put 35 for Cassandra's, and we will go from there. Okay.
Okie dokie.
She was a lower generation than you. You are now 12th generation. You can mark that change.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I was here to see it.
And she crumbles to dust before your eyes as the fangs are draining, and you see Quartermain's head rear back as he's just absorbing the blood. You can see him
outside the
fighting
room.
it. Not you. Everyone else watched. You can see, and then she just fades to dust in front of him. And at that time, an
Immediately,
alarm
the
goes off
quarterback.
in
She
the
said
museum.
Okay.
she's going to do a check on this.
What are you checking?
I'm checking to see if it's fucking Quartermain. That's what I'm checking to see. What would she ask? Who still owes us dinner on the West Coast?
Gary owes me dinner. I don't know about you.
Look, fuck you. We're a coterie. It's obviously
Yep, that's
Okay, so I take
Hold
the
on.
steak back from lunch.
Am I part of this? Can I get on that?
No, that was a
Oh, do
coterie
you want
thing.
to have dinner with Gary?
I mean,
Don't
I'm
worry,
sure
man.
you've heard.
I can-
Jack's probably heard
I
of Gary
can get you
Goldman's
in. He
legend.
a
loves to
legend.
have guests.
Yeah.
He
So I
loves,
can get
he
you
loves
in.
to entertain.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we got to get out of
About
here.
that
There's an alarm going.
Yeah, you hear the alarm go off, and you hear Sam. Problem.
Let's get out.
That's an external alarm. It's not coming from this room. By the way, the guards are no longer with us.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go. Where are we go? And I look at Jack and say, where are we going?
I'm texting Gertrude immediately. I say, we need an out now.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
I know exactly what I'm spending my points on. Celerity.
Okay.
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 So,
Yeah, I texted Gertrude and said, we need out now.
Gertrude comes back. Service elevator, sub basement.
Okay. And I basically announce that on.
Oh, he did. Do you tell him, or do you just
Oh,
start?
yeah,
running
I
for
said, yeah.
You tell
I
him
know.
follow you to the service
Service
elevator.
tell me, go to the service elevator sub basement. And
Okay.
I'm sure that's
Ludlow,
probably
you gonna
heard
come
me
over?
right now when I said that.
I'm getting out of here. Nobody here knows me. I'm just gonna slip out in confusion because everyone's panicking and leaving because
Okay.
of the alarm. I'm just gonna slip out.
Okay.
Let
Go.
them figure out why this guy's dead in the floor.
Be careful.
Always am. He was fun to play with.
I'm sure he was.
I made some notes.
Okay, let's go, guys. So we're getting in the elevator.
Yep, Jack leads you to an elevator. It's off the side room. It actually looks like it's a broom closet till you open the door, and on the other side of the broom closet
Is an elevator.
is an elevator. Which, oddly enough, Jack had the key to the door, but Jack has the key to the door because sometimes he's got to go into the maintenance closets to clean up messes. So he went into the maintenance closet, and there's a service elevator right there. It's not far. There's one on the 3rd floor, and it leads. He gets in it, and he puts the same key and twists it, and it goes. It's a button. It's SB1.
Okay.
Which means he's dropping you down probably into the sub-basement where the service, normally down there is where they would be washing anything, any kind of cloth that might need washed for the art, and it's also where they load and unload. And as you ride the elevator down, there's no music in this one. It's an old, you can smell the musty smell. You guys have a few minutes to contemplate and talk as you're riding about what just happened. You just saw Cassandra duly executed as per the prince.
And I look at
And
Quartermain.
for someone who knew she was going to die, she didn't
fight
it. She knew she couldn't win.
Mm-hmm. I look at Quartermain and say, "How you feel?"
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I don't blame
powerful,
you.
yes.
And you can feel you've lost a little bit of yourself, though. With a little bit of humanity lost. You just come a little closer to the beast. There's Steve
But
Perry
damn.
fighting you over it. Damn. Steve's like, damn it.
Yeah.
And I just pat him on the arm. Well, you'll get yours next time.
But damn,
Or
was that good?
Yeah, you can feel from 35 experience worth of, by drinking her blood, you can feel the potency and the strength of her blood flowing through your veins, and it's amazing in your case. It's something, oh my God, it's crazy. But
Yeah,
it
so
tastes good.
If this doesn't prove my worth to you guys, I don't know what else I can do.
No,
What's
you're
wrong,
good.
Locke?
You're good.
Nothing.
She's very
What's
uncomfortable
wrong?
with her coterie.
What's wrong, Locke?
What?
What's wrong, Locke?
Not just stuff.
Yeah. Stuff.
I know that face.
A disappointment.
And as you get to the basement at the loading area, or at the sub-basement, when it opens up, you're actually come up in a large loading section. You can see where trucks pull in through an underground entrance to come to the sub-basement, and they pull up and they have a loading area, pallet area, and of course there's truck access doors right there that you could use to get to the street. It's not any of the main entrances that might have been watched.
Are there any vehicles in here?
No, not tonight. But Jack knows that once you get to the streets, Baltimore's got the skyways that you can walk that goes over everything. You've got the streets themselves, a lot of alleys, a lot of cutouts, a lot of neighborhoods that if you don't know the neighborhood, you may not walk out of it at night. It's a world of darkness. It's even worse than in real life. There's a lot of neighborhoods you don't wander into at night.
That's okay. You have me. I'm the reason you don't walk out. So you're fine.
Yep. If you don't go in with people who know the area and know the people in the area, and Jack's been in DC long enough, he knows the areas. You don't come out because if you're not
I know
known, you're
DC and Baltimore. I know DC and Baltimore. So yeah, you don't walk out.
All right. We just need to find a place to either crash or a way to get home.
We can get home if we can get out of here.
I can jack a car.
That works.
Right, and I'm texting Grocer. Okay, we're down here. We need a way back to DC.
Is there a Lexus anywhere around?
don't have a way back, is what she replies. What's going on? I heard the alarms are going off.
Okay, so somebody did something stupid, and then I'm trying to get me and my friends out of here back to DC. I'll ride left. Let's go stranded in Baltimore. I ain't trying to get back to DC.
You hear Sam coming through barely on the headset because of the sub-basement.
Yes,
It's kind of staticky and it's hard. It's busy up front. Lots of people. It's crazy. Run, just go.
Okay, so we just go.
And you go out when you look out. When you go and go out through, there's actually
Door.
a side door from the loading area. Yeah, it's pandemonium out there right now. There's about 200-300 people streaming out of the thing through fire exits and everything else, just streaming onto the street. And there's people everywhere. But there's also a lot of vehicles that weren't there before.
Okay, so I'm still have the, I'm still blush of life. I look alive. I'm gonna panic. And run.
The vehicles are, there's a lot of Lincolns
Uh-huh.
and Crown Vics.
Uh-huh.
Can I get one open?
No, there's people in them. There's actually, there seem to
people
be
in 'em.
parked at the corners.
Watching.
Yeah. But you're in a crowd of people, so it's
I'm
not
in a
like
crowd. I'm
yeah,
gonna
you're
act
all in
like
the
the
crowd.
crowd.
You
Let's
come
not
out
do
in the
anything
crowd.
here. Let's not do anything here. Let's get further away and then do
Right.
it there. Let's at least get a block away.
Right.
So we
do
follow
anything.
the crowd.
I leave these guys a block away.
Yeah, you follow the crowd. I mean, the crowd's going every which way. You're talking 200 or 300 people. They don't stay when they're kicked. They cross the streets and are spreading out. So,
Spreading out,
so you
yeah.
just kind of slide in with the crowds to get to a block or a corner where you can slip into an alley that where you just fade out from the crowd.
Yep.
Right. You guys stay close.
Yeah.
I'll
I got-
take care of that again.
I got hungry, Bill. I vanished.
Okay, you're at 1 hunger now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you
'Cause you
drained
went down to
Cassandra.
0. Yeah.
Never
Get down to
last.
0. And as you fade into the alley, you can see that there's more cars pulling up. They're looking for somebody. There's enough Lincolns and Crown Vics pulled around. They're watching for something. They don't seem to be interacting with the crowd, but at each one, you
But
see a
we've
guy
already made it past
in
it.
well, yeah, but I'm giving the description what
Yeah.
you saw before you slipped into the alley. You see several men. Almost every vehicle seems to be full of guys in gray, slate-colored pinstripe suits.
Oh,
Oh.
With most of them, not all, but most of them have fedoras on their heads or a hat of some kind.
I look at Jack and I said, well, I suppose rumors are true, because those look like Gino's men.
Yeah, I know the Geno's and I mean he's here. I mean
For enough
Tell
away
is
from
here.
other people that I might not be noticed if I bring up Oblivion Sight.
You slipped into an alley.
Okay.
So, I mean, Jack brought you as the crowd. As soon as the crowd kind of gathered in the alley, Jack just gives you the head and y'all just
We
kind of
dip
cut
into
down the
the
side
alley.
alley. That,
Yeah.
I mean, there's people standing, but they're all looking at the building. They're not watching the alley because they're trying to figure out what the hell just went on. Why did the alarms go off and they have to evacuate immediately? So you slip into an alley and slip back and you kick on your Oblivion Sight. And of course, the darkness to you fades. You see everything just as clear as day. You can see and you look around. Baltimore, the part you're in, there's ghosts here and there, but it's not crazy amounts of them. But you do also see, while looking through it, you can see clearly the guys looking. And there are a number of them that seem to be searching, and one you do recognize that you couldn't really see through the shadows at first. That is definitely Gino, Vitel's enforcer. He's in one of the street corners talking with another man you don't recognize.
Guys, Gino's here.
Oh, shit.
oh,
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah.
We need to get out of here now.
This is not the place to have that showdown, guys.
No.
So, Jack, I assume you're going to start trying to lead them through the city. And for this,
Yeah, pretty much.
we're going to roll. Let me switch glasses so I can read here. We're going to use your knowledge of the city and all. God damn, I keep up with that. You can go wits streetwise, but I'm going to give you 2 extra dice to your wit streetwise because it's your city. And this is what you've done. This is what you do.
can luck help?
Yes, you can add them an extra die. So you can
I
roll
got
11 dice, Jack,
Ooh,
for, finding a path
Nice.
right now.
Nice.
hey. I have blood die to this one, right, or no?
Yes,
Yes.
blood die to this one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing Western Streetwise.
Yep, wit streetwise,
I love
which is normally 8 dice for you, but you get 2 extra for your home field advantage, and then 1 more. And I'm gonna roll.
And so I got 10.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, good
Nice.
for you.
Good for you.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Rock on, buddy.
You managed to slip free of that one pretty
Good,
well.
good.
You don't see any where you take them through a bunch of side alleys, up an alley. You go up on the skywalkway a little bit, and then come back down off it and cut through some more alleys. It takes you about an hour later. You're feeling pretty good about where you've got each other. That you've gotten them far enough away. You're in one of the rougher neighborhoods, but it's a neighborhood you know, and it's a neighborhood where the people, if they see you, know to leave you alone. Because you were a Viking, and after coming to Baltimore, you knew how to make sure that you're known to the gangs in an area that you're not to be messed with, and as long as they leave you alone, you'll just do your thing.
Exactly.
Jack, can you get us a car?
I can get you guys what you need.
Let me see. I want to roll wits auspex from
For me?
anyone with Sense the Unseen.
Me.
Okay.
Everyone with Sense the Unseen can roll wits auspex. It's going to be a difficult one, too.
And I didn't use my gun one.
No, it's going to be a difficult thing to see. I just want to see.
Okay, I'm a rouse. I got another
No,
one.
you can't roll. No rouse.
Oh, no rouse?
No, this is an involuntary check. I just don't feel like being the one to roll it. I'll let y'all roll it.
Can I willpower?
Nope.
I got
2 with a critical.
2 and 2. Okay. Don't really notice it. It seems like you're scot-free right now.
Fuck. I don't trust this.
I know. I love doing that because I didn't have. It was supposed to be a
I'm
secret
gonna
roll,
roll
but I'm letting you
premonition.
roll. Oh, damn! She's going for that.
Fuck it.
Not the premonition.
I'm not in that city, so he can't fuck with my
It's
visions.
not my fault. I blame the city. This is I belong in DC.
She gonna roll premonition.
Yep.
That's funny. You're brave, aren't you?
I'm gonna rouse.
Yep, and then
Succeed.
resolve and all specs.
Resolve all specs. 1, 2, 3.
Remember your power die for
4,
your
5.
blood potency.
Yep.
And that's something to remember for. I mean, Quartermain's still at 2, but technically, Quartermain, you could spend all 30. No, because it says you can't go over her blood potency even with that 35. So yeah,
35.
too bad, because then you could go straight to 3.
I'm gonna willpower.
That's all right.
Nope, you don't put that blood die back down. You willpower one of the blood die.
The blood die was.
I know it was 0, but you can't willpower the blood die.
I
She's gonna
meant to-
willpower a blood
I
die.
meant to grab the black.
Uh-huh. She's trying
Okay,
to
so I've
sneak
got
sneak
1
sneak.
success so far. And that's 3 more successes, so 4.
4. You guys see Lily's vision kind of cloud and her eyes kind of go hazy. You can see her shaking a bit.
Oh,
And
jeez.
Lily, when your vision fades and switches to your premonition, 4 successes is pretty good, actually. Just right here in the street, you're standing right there with everybody.
Mhm.
But there's a very thin line coming off of each member of the coterie, but not Jack.
Okay.
A very thin line. And you see it going off into the distance. And you can see it weaving through as your vision shifts to above the city. And you can see it weaving through the city all the way back to where you guys came from.
Somebody's tracking us.
And then your vision returns.
And I say that as I'm coming to. Somebody's tracking us.
Lovely. That's not what I needed to hear. I'm trying to get us back. Lovely.
Tracking us. Like,
Checking all of us.
So I did a
It's not
passive
my
sense
fault.
the unseen. Can I do an active?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I will let you do that
that
after you
wits
use
aspects?
premonition. That is resolve aspects.
Still resolve
Yes.
aspects? Okay.
No, it's supposed to have been wits aspect for the last one. Sorry.
Okay.
But you can roll resolve aspects. We'll see what you get this time. You know what
This
you're
is
looking
not-
for, though,
This
don't
is
you?
not my fault. This is
Yeah, I
not my
no,
fault.
we do lots of things that are our fault. So this is fine.
Don't worry, Jack.
Well, that's
Don't
good.
worry, Jack.
1, 2,
Your
3, 4, 5,
information was
6.
good.
6
You're
successes.
good.
You see it now. When you really think about and the premonition and you concentrate on shifting to the supernatural, there's a fine line off of every member of the coterie, almost a ribbon of light that is coming off of each one of you, merging into the same path, heading back the way you came. But it doesn't take the path you walked. Well, it's taking the exact path you walked to get here. You can see just glimpses of it on the skyway that you had briefly traversed, and it's leading back the exact path you walked.
Fucker has got somebody tracking us.
Well, how
Now
do
I really need to get you guys out of here if we're being tracked.
It's not going to stop whoever's tracking us. I bet it's fucking blood sorcery. 'Cause
Well, we need to
it's
move
glowing
quickly.
like daylight.
yeah, we need to move anyway. So
Okay.
As we move around, can you see it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everywhere we go, it tracks us.
So is it all y'all? Is it on me?
No, it's not
No,
on
it's
you.
not on you.
You can go.
You're clear.
I'm not
of
leaving you
somebody.
guys here. You know that, right?
I'm wondering if it could be someone back in DC tracking us to make sure we did a good job.
No,
Can I make
it's
an
leading
occult
back
roll, Bill?
to the gallery.
Yes, intelligence plus occult.
Sorry, what did you say?
It's leading back to the gallery.
To the gallery.
Yes.
So it's one of Gino's men.
Uh-huh.
It's gotta be.
Yeah,
I
intelligence
bet
plus
he's
occult
got a
from
Tremere.
Quartermain.
I gotta get you guys out of here and throw them off.
4.
Okay. Yes, you know what that is. That is a dress. You've seen it in your occult books. That is one of the Tremere rituals are being used against you to track you. As far as you know, it'll last for the rest of the night. But it'll lead a path exactly where you've stepped the whole night. If whoever has done it has successfully managed to track you through the city, and that path will stay the rest of the night. Or actually, no, it's a number of hours equal to successes.
Do I know the name of the ritual?
Yes, I'll even tell you what it is real quick. Let me pull the name back up a bit. Because it's a good one.
Okay.
One of my favorites.
Let's get a vehicle. Let's get on the road and let's get heading home. And I'm gonna make a call or two and see if I can get this thing broken somehow.
Yeah, and if we can't break it, then we just
It's
need
going to lead whoever it is to right where we're sleeping.
Yep.
So we're not going back to any havens tonight. We are going
But it
back.
doesn't matter where we go.
I know.
Right.
It only lasts a night. We can get somewhere defensible for a night if we have to trade in a boon or something to get behind someone else's defenses.
Illuminate the trail of prey has been used on you.
Yep.
All they have to do is picture the person they're trying to find.
So, Bill, is there any way I can contact somebody to get them out, to get them to a safe place?
Well, if it's a trail, if you keep
Yeah.
moving, they've got to keep following the trail.
Yeah. So we got to get.
Yeah, that's
If you
why I say
double
we
back
gotta
on the
get
trail
moving.
and
We
leave
need-
loops into
we
the
need-
trail,
we need-
they've got to check each
Yeah.
one to figure out which one you went down.
We need a vehicle.
You know what we should do?
Split up.
Split up.
Wonder if we could give Mother a call and go through Rock Creek Park.
Well, that's a long way to go.
That's a long way from Baltimore, darling.
But that is a great
Yeah,
idea.
That's a good
That is
idea,
awesome.
though.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
We need a vehicle.
But yeah,
Yeah. We need a vehicle.
The problem is, will we make it before the sun rises? That's the thing.
that's
What
going to
time
be.
is it?
At this point, you're getting closer to 3 a.m. It's getting close.
We could still get home. It'd be
but-
close.
You
Not
don't know
with the
how
trail
long
on
this will
it.
last. It may last. From what you know, Jim, it's supposed to last one day, but you know that's not always true either.
Right.
It's really contingent a lot of ways on whether they can accurately follow you or know you. But if you can lead them on a goose chase long enough that they have to stop following you before dawn, and then they have to go to bed,
Yeah.
means when they wake up, the rest of their trail is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
But you
thinking
definitely
cargo
don't.
gas.
If you're in a
Yes.
car, they can follow you with a car.
Yeah.
That's fine.
If you're
But
on
they have-
foot, they have to be on foot as well.
Yeah.
Shame you don't have any fully blacked out vans that one of your guys could drive us around the Beltway a few times. during the
Beltway.
day.
Wow, do loops.
Fully blacked out during the day, run us around a few
It does
loops.
have some body bags in the back. They can
I do
load us
have body
back in the-
bags. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, lots of body bags, yeah.
Yeah, I have
In
lots
the
of
car,
body
which is,
bags.
it's an odd thing to say, but yes, that's a tour who has body bags. in the
I
car.
am always prepared, darling.
We can recall
So, you
Scott.
guys are going to try to get to a vehicle.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get to a vehicle.
It hasn't been that long.
Yep.
Give Scott a call, see if you can recall him. Because he can't have gotten home by now.
No,
We
he was
didn't
en
spend
route.
that long
It wasn't that long.
Okay, so I'll give Scott a call and see
Hey,
and
call
ask
him.
what his ETA would be if he turned around.
And let's just lead him around the Beltway and have our asses in some body bags when it comes closer to dawn. It's riskier, but
You now notice a second trail has appeared. It's a different color, but it's only linked to Lily right now. There's two different
Somebody-
colors now coming, one color off everybody in the coterie, and then one different.
What color is mine?
One's red that covers all the coterie, and then there's another blue one that following the same route, of course.
You said it was white coming off the curry.
No, it's a reddish white. It's got a slight tinge to it, but there's a blue one. It's definitely somebody else has just put a track on. Just Lily this time.
Fuck!
Lily.
Somebody else is now tracking me. Fuck!
I hope it's somebody we know.
I don't know because I'm like, okay, Scott, how quickly can you get back here?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes?
That's fine. We can
We can
No,
do
no,
that.
why don't I just steal a car and we can get the hell out of here?
We can ride it.
And we can meet him. And that we can meet him
All right,
somewhere.
we're- text me a location where we can meet you. We're gonna get wheels and head your way.
It's not hard to find a car. The question is whether you can hotwire it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
Intelligence
gives me a
technology,
location.
which Steve would be, I think, the best with intelligence technology. Let me see.
Oh, so we don't need to break into the car?
No, I mean, this is Baltimore. If you lock your car, that just means you have to replace the window and the stereo rather than just the stereo when they steal it. I've been to Baltimore a lot. I know the old
If
thing.
we find the car, then Jack can probably hotwire it or something.
Jack probably could too. If Steve Perry fails, Jack actually has enough skills. He probably can too. Yes.
4 altogether.
4 altogether.
That should do it.
That should do it. Yeah, you find a car you can. I mean, you've got to find a car that holds 5 people unless you're really tight. But you find a decent sized. You know, it's a older model.
I'll ride in the trunk if necessary.
Trunk
He
Truck
is
Nos.
Truck Nos.
I mean, you find an older model Plymouth. You know.
Is this okay?
This is fine. It's fine. It'll get us out.
Yeah, Lily's uncomfortable
I
at
don't
this
care.
point.
I'm being tracked by 2 fucking people. I want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I love my new car.
And as you're piling into the car,
It's your car now.
as you're piling into the car, a lone vehicle comes down the street as you're doing it. And as you're trying to get in the car and Steve is hotwiring it, what's everybody going to do? It's slowing down as it approaches you guys.
I look at who's driving.
Intelligence awareness.
Okay.
Quarterman, you can roll intelligence awareness too, since, you know, or not, yeah, intelligence awareness too. See if you recognize the person behind the wheel.
I have my hand behind my back just in case I need to draw my gun.
Oh
Okay.
my god. Okay, that's 2 successes so far. The willpower.
Man, you're burning up the willpower hard
I've
tonight.
only used it once.
That's right. Steve used
Steve
up the
was learning
willpower.
as well, but I
Yeah.
understand like 3.
I've
Six.
used 4 now.
There is a man driving.
4,
And
5, 6.
Literally, the car is coming right down the ribbon where y'all broke
Which
onto the
one?
street. It's coming. Well, they're overlapped because they both follow
Yeah,
the thing.
but I would know.
But the vehicle, well, no, the ribbons are the same one. You can't really see who it's linked to. It just follows your path. But Quarterman, you recognize the guy in the vehicle, Grigori.
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 Oh. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
I don't trust him.
He pulls up right as you're sitting there.
Okay.
He rolls down the window and looks.
Grigori, what's up, man?
I heard rumors that you guys had been found and they were trying to lay an ambush. I see the ambush didn't work.
Of course not.
No,
But
but they're
I-
tracking us right now.
I owed you a life bill. So,
Well,
I've come to assist.
Can you-
They're tracking you?
Can you
They are tracking.
can you break a track?
Are you sure they're tracking you and not me?
No, they're tracking us.
They're tracking
I
that
saw
little
it.
line coming off us.
Lily can see. What's the name of the ritual you said?
Illuminate the trail of prey? Or,
Yeah, I will tell
Track
him
the trail
that
of prey,
that's what
I
Lily
saw
sees
it.
on us.
It's funny, that's how I
It's
feel.
all on them
You were
except
looking
me.
for me, weren't
And
you?
I know that I'm in and out.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You see his eyes glaze over a minute. I'm not going to try to do the Russian accent, guys. I just don't do accents.
Yeah, let's
And he sees, he looks, yes, you are being tracked.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody amateur.
Bloody amateur. I love Grigori.
In the motherland, we would have killed a child that cast something like that.
Uh-huh.
You see, Grigori slices his wrist, pulls and blood welling up. And he starts drawing symbols on each member of the coterie and concentrating. And you see him stagger a bit at the end. And then he stands up. I have broken it for now, but they are close.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
And I
we need to
better get
out of here.
be
I
found
will-
with you.
Okay. What kind
I
of...
don't want to break my contacts. And that is where the problem lies, because this right here is where you hear more cars come. A lot of cars.
Fuck.
Oh, okay. Steve, please tell me you got
Broke the
that car hotwired. You need to go, and now.
Okay. Who's got the highest drive?
I have drive 2.
I can drive a 4. I can get you guys out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, I vote for Jack.
Technically, Locke can get up to drive. It's Dex plus Drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have
Technically,
4
Locke can
total.
get up to like 7.
And if Steve
Um,
punches her in the
yeah,
face,
That's what she's talking about, is getting punched in the face repeatedly to get her
I'll
dex
have
up.
to switchblade.
Just keep
But
getting.
it'll
Oh
take
man,
a
that's
second.
messed up.
So
But I think Jack
don't
actually has more dice
before-
than that. Now y'all gonna be doing a run through the city trying to get away. Yeah, because Jack he's got 8 dice when he's driving.
Yeah.
So what kind of
Yeah,
and
assistance
he knows
are
the
you
city
offering?
better, let him do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
broke
think I
the
was for
track.
not
Mhm.
cutting
But-
myself.
You didn't know that it was there, so what assistance are you offering?
You know who's in those cars that just came around the corner?
Yes, I know.
That while we're talking is coming closer.
So we're leaving.
That's Gino
We're
and his
leaving.
men.
Mm-hmm.
I can break the
We're
track.
leaving. And we're leaving
I
now.
can run a few off. But you guys need to get out of here.
Okay, so we're going.
Right. Everyone hop
I
in.
can
I'll
make sure
drive.
they
Get
can't
us out of
track
here.
you again tonight. How about that?
That works. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was the other deal?
And at this point,
Boone is recognized and acknowledged.
we're not even. I still owe you.
Okay.
And at this point, you hear a voice call out from the alley. It's a woman's voice.
The fuck? Just want to get out of here.
And she calls out, "Follow me. I've got a safe place. I'll take you there."
Eyes of the Beast, look, who is it?
You see a woman. She's got black hair and violet eyes. And as soon she steps out of the alleyway, and you recognize her. She was in the Museum of Art.
Yeah.
I'm going to do lie detection real quick.
Okay. You recognize her. That's the one that you felt oddly staring at you.
To see if she's lying to us. It's a trap. 1, 2, 3. I've got 3.
Don't think she's lying. And Grigori looks at you, Jack, and says, "Take that car, you run. I'll take mine and run. You guys follow her."
Yeah, we can go. Go.
We'll
They
meet you
can't
back
track
at
you
DC.
anymore, but if they know of him, they'll
Rock,
track him
be careful.
next.
Yeah,
And they'll follow him wherever he wants to lead them.
got you. Okay, so let's go. And we're going to
All
follow
right,
the girl.
I'll see y'all back in DC.
All right.
And this is where we're going to end this episode. Right here on a cliffhanger. Y'all are trapped. You've gotten confirmation that Vitale is in Baltimore because Gino. That's not a rumor. If Gino is there,
Then Vitale's there.
Vitale is there. And you have, in the process, of course, Diablerized Cassandra. She is
And
gone.
mighty-
And Quartermain
and
is
Quartermain
more
member-
powerful than he was. He ate her down.
Yeah.
Second Diablery. But it's a blood hunt. Fuck it. Eat her.
Blood Hunt.
So, of course, next week we will return with the rest of this cliffhanger. And the cliffhanger is for a reason.
Yeah.
If you guys got out of there alive, there's a good chance we were going to have this cliffhanger for our next guest.
Yep.
We'll be on next week, of
Who
course.
is the
And thank you,
violet-eyed
Jack.
beauty that's helping us.
Jack, love your character, Demetrius. That
Yes,
was great.
thank
No
you
problem.
so much, Demetrius.
It's good to get some Brujah blood in here because
Yeah.
all the other Brujahs are dead, and it's good to get some Brujah blood in here. So, and I know Locke is happy to have a bartender, somebody reliable that knows the business that isn't named Art or Tabitha, and most importantly, knows the contacts that Bjorn had.
Yeah, that's
because
handy.
Bjorn knew the
I have his
police.
list.
He has the list.
I have
Well, it
his
doesn't
list.
mean you can use them. You know the ones that can be bought
Leveraged.
and leveraged. So you have the info.
Yeah.
So we're going to leave it right here, and I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I'd like to thank the special guests.
Yeah.
Thank our viewers, of course.
Thank you, guys.
We are Gehenna Gaming affiliates, and there'll be a link in the chat. You can pop over to the website or go to their Discord. Now everybody is in that Discord except for Quartermain, but it's fine because Quartermain doesn't do the Discord game, so it's cool. We don't need him in there. Even Locke pops in from time to time. And of course, now that Steve Perry has a Twitter account, y'all can follow him on there.
And we'll post our Twitter links.
Because there are some Steve Perry fans out there now, which is no relation.
Yeah, no relation.
If you like what
Hey,
we're doing,
I
of
have
course,
fans too.
Yeah.
Apparently, I have fans now.
yeah. If you like what we're doing, we're on every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
We're on with board games every Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Yep.
There's other RPG channels that'll be in the chat.
That's
Of course, when
friends.
this one airs, that'll be we're 1 week away from LA by Night coming back on World of Darkness Twitch channel, and also a new one got announced, which is It's the
Long Beach.
prelude for Blood 2.
Long Beach is back.
Bloodlines.
Long Beach is
Bloodlines
coming back
too.
too.
Yeah. And then Long Beach by Night is back as well,
Mhm.
which would be coming on either before or after this week. You know,
So between the
for that one, it'd be
31st and the 2nd, there's a
before
lot of
this.
vampire content,
Yeah,
guys.
they come on right before this episode for
Yeah.
Long Beach by Night.
Yep.
Great content, B. Dave.
Mhm.
But there's another Bloodlines Prelude stream that starts. It's supposed to come on after LA by Night on the 31st.
On the World of Darkness
On
channel.
the World of Darkness Twitch channel. So
Mhm.
get in on that if you're planning to play Bloodlines.
Yep.
If you like vampire content, check out the chat. We got a whole list of channels.
Yep.
The people we like watching.
Mhm.
They're great for the vampire content, of course. Follow us on YouTube if you want to see back episodes. Give us a subscription if you want, or a follow here. We love it. Check out the gear we're using at the bottom. It's insane. Go crazy. And thank you, Jack. Anything you want to add, you can add as you're coming out. But
Thank you guys for having me.
oh, we loved it.
Everybody, see you guys on Twitch when we watch it on Sunday.
Yes.
We will be there to chat with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna leave y'all hanging.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you
great.
so much.
Because, you know, this was a different episode, first into Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then it had a
That was
planned
tense.
ending for it that if it didn't work, I mean, I rolled the sorcerer roll to make sure it succeeded. If it didn't work, y'all were going to get out of here, and I'd found another way to introduce the next guest. But she will be introduced. So thank you, and I will say goodnight and see y'all next week for the rest of this cliffhanger here.
Mhm.